your guys' new office is nice.
Thank you.
Because we were in the old office last time.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the new office?
It's like 2 blocks away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's still like the
10th
same
and
part
G.
of town?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just north instead of like west from the metro station.
Yeah. There's actually a metro entrance right in the building.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is awesome.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. We're happy with it. We're already outgrowing it, though.
That's my thing. I was just like,
Yeah, you guys did your staff walker, and I'm like, we were there like 6 months ago, and half these people weren't there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had state and federal added someone. Like Tiara started the week of the fly-in that you guys were at.
Oh, wow.
And then we had Eric Snyder's person, Juan, started right after that.
Yep.
Will added someone for his team for political. We just got our PAC director started last week.
Yep.
So you're really building up staff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're probably going to be bringing, at least one other staff.
I'm losing my podcast studio.
Yeah.
Like the idea was that I was going to build something out. Like we had this like
because you talked about you were getting a podcast studio in the space, and
right.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Spagnola's vision is that like there's podcast studios at all the major SEMA facilities that people can drop in and just do create content or whatever, do some interviews with people. Like he wants one at the garage in Detroit. He wants one at Diamond Bar. And then the idea was that I just wanted to have like a backdrop because, when the election came around, we just shot some informational videos, and it was just good to have it would be good to have a consistent background that we can use.
Yeah.
And you're going to give it away already.
Well, we'll see.
I'm sure you guys have a meeting room that you can set up something nice around a table and
No, that's
get
what
some
that
portable-
was.
So you guys don't have a meeting room in there anymore.
We have a conference room in which
Classic fishbowl.
Yeah, it's a fishbowl. Which I guess we could do actually one wall, like the one that faces you guys, your offices. We could always do a full route that way. I don't know. We haven't figured that stuff out yet.
I like the fishbowl thing because when people are in there, and
True.
It's easy for them to be like, oh hey, let's grab Matt real quick because we know he's in his office or whatever.
Right.
You have visibility, but like we have some like art things that we need to do to make the space seem
a little more modern.
Yeah, we need to sematize
It's
it.
not branded yet.
You need an
park
engine
a car.
block.
Yeah, you need an engine block table, park a car in the lobby or
That's
something.
really great. I was going to say, whose was that to be?
That was mine.
Yeah. There you go.
So I was 18, 19, and I've got a split bumper Camaro at home.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to build a motor. So I bought a motor. And then I realized I stripped it down and I realized how expensive it was to build a motor. I'm like, I'm going to build a table. So I built a table.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And then it lived in my basement. It lived in my dad's house. And then it's been at the shop and then here
It was at the old shop. It was our waiting room table. And then when we moved into the new shop, we don't really have the 1,000 square foot office that we used to have. So.
Right.
It's the gearhead equivalent of like what you have on Cape Cod growing up, where everyone has a lobster trap
Yeah.
table in their living room.
Yeah. My wife wouldn't let me put it in the living room, so it ended up down here. I tried.
Basements are for.
Yeah.
All right.
Man caves.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, guys. Welcome to the Dirt Drive podcast.
You need to say welcome back to yourself.
I know.
It's
Welcome
been
back to
6 months
myself.
since you've been
It's
on.
been forever since I've been on. It's natural though. Like you just talk. It's nice.
Yeah.
This week we've got Karen and Matt from Sema back in the house, and Tom's here, and my debut, re-debut, reintroduction. What have you guys been up to since we've seen you last? Because what haven't you been up to?
Yeah, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
It's been a really boring summer in the SEMA world.
Yeah, gosh, we've had a ton of stuff. I think the last time we talked, you guys were in DC with us on the, helping us kickstart the EV mandate repeal work.
Yep.
Which hell yeah.
Which that happened.
Yep.
By the skin of our teeth.
Yeah.
But
I'm
that,
going to put out there, with no help from any of the Virginia meetings that we had.
Correct.
Remember that around election time. Just saying.
Yeah.
there is an election this year.
I know.
Yeah. It's the big beef. Election is always SEMA week. They
Yes.
always choose
Yeah.
SEMA. Like SEMA starts November 4th every year. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how am I supposed to vote?
Well, it's
vote
not
early.
It's not every 4th, and it is I will give it to the Constitution since that sort of set the
Yeah.
rules. So I mean,
SEMA
SEMA thinks of itself as pretty central to life as we know it. But
Yeah.
we'll give the Constitution a little.
Yeah, vote early and vote often, except for
Right.
not often.
Not often, unless you vote the right way, and then of course do whatever you want.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or unless you're at SEMA, in
Yeah.
which case then
Yeah.
you make sure you just vote.
But
Well,
anyway, you guys have
if you're at
early
SEMA, go to
voting now.
California and vote often.
There you go.
Yeah.
You have early voting now in
Yeah.
Virginia, so at least you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So we
I'll-
actually did a big push last year in the elections.
Yeah, that was a big part of it too. Is one of the first things I did was like, how do we mobilize voters and get them comfortable with the idea that they could vote early? Because election night was the first day of SEMA. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah, it's the same thing this year.
Yeah, our pack reception was a watch party. So
Yeah. So
Yeah, it'll be my first time voting early. I've voted every year on every election since I've been 18.
Mhm.
I've always voted day of. But see, this year because of SEMA, I'll vote early.
Yep.
I've got to figure out how the hell to do that, but I'm sure there's nice resources online to figure that out.
just go to the Secretary of State's website and it'll tell you.
Perfect.
It's usually how
Yeah.
it works. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first SEMA. I had the news that the Virginia governor got voted Republican when Youngkin got elected by the Uber driver, like leaving the SEMA show. I get in an Uber and he's like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" And we're like, "Oh, Virginia." He goes, "Oh, you guys just went Republican. Great job." And I was like, "All right, what?" It's like, "Oh, I guess I got to look at the news."
Right. Right. Yeah. So that was done. That was really exciting. And then what else have we done since then?
You went to Moab.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
these
right.
are
Yeah,
Jeep
that was
Safari.
after that.
You were
too.
going like a week or two afterwards.
Yeah, that's right. I did the Great American Road Trip by myself,
Oof.
and it was actually because that's actually how all this stuff. Because it was like literally every time either I was going on a big trip, so the CRA stuff. I was literally driving down 81, kept pulling off to review press releases and activations and social media and everything like that, and then I think the debate started when Eric went under anesthesia. Or the vote happened.
Oh man.
I'm trying to think. No, there was something else in the process. So literally, as Eric goes under, another movement happened with the EV mandate stuff. So every time there's a major thing, and then we actually just announced we are looking to acquire Orba, the Off-Road Business Association, who's an organization SEMA has supported for years for its pretty much I think its entire existence. And that really serves, as a great advocate organization, dealing with public land. So very Western focused, but also very important to our industry and just kind of bringing that under our advocacy umbrella. So that's in process right now. Final information will be available in the next couple of weeks, but. So we had that. We've got.
in between, we joined FIA.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Just little things.
Just little things. Yeah.
Like that was hard.
Yeah.
So it's sorry. It's been my catchphrase this year because we've had a really good year.
Yeah.
We joined the FIA. Matt and I were just in Paraguay with the Americas clubs. Gathering their Congress. So got to meet a lot of our fellow FIA members down there and just made some really good connections both throughout South America, Latin America, as well as Europe and other places. So
Yeah, my favorite thing is following you on social media, Matt, because when we first met you, you're like, yeah, you haven't been at SEMA for very long, have you? You're like, my daughter's weird about it because I've got a cool job now. And like as like a week later, you were partying with Rick Ross. You're like, I went to Paraguay. I'm like, yeah, your daughter's probably like, Dad's got the coolest job. Why is my dad cool now?
She was mad that I didn't get a shout out for her from Rick Ross, but I was just like, priorities
Yeah.
here. It's gotta be
It
SEMA
was a
first.
work trip.
We went down to Rick Ross Car Show outside of Atlanta, which is on his property.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, it was cool. It's the largest independent car show in the country, which by
Naturally.
proxy is probably the largest in the world. I mean, but like he's got such a busy schedule that the person that manages his fleet of 150 cars was like, you know what, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bring the car show to you. You could stroll out in your bathrobe in the morning and just kind of see everything and be the car guy that you are. He just wants to ask the nerdy questions and just take pictures and see the cars. And so they brought it to him, and he literally flew in the night before or he had a performance the night before somewhere and flew in that morning, like on a private jet. And then so when he came out at 9:00, it was just like his first appearance. But we got an opportunity to go there and meet with a lot of people. Some of the builds down there are amazing. Some of the stories and how people relate to cars and connect with automotive culture is really cool. Yeah. So, and then I was also at the NASCAR race, and
with Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, that was fun. That was cool. He's a hell of a driver, even though his trucks had some bad luck this year. So
right. Well, Lando Norris knows that in the F1 too.
Yep.
He blew his second place podium.
Are you big in F1? Even bigger now since you're partnered with
Yeah,
FIA.
bigger now probably. But yeah, actually, there's a bit of a connection. HP Tuners, which is a member of Sema, they have a connection to Oscar Piastri.
Okay.
Actually, his dad is involved in the business
cool.
in HP Tuner. So I was like, okay, I guess I have my driver to follow. And of course, Oscar's been having just an amazing season. And I'm, if I had one of my dream cars is a McLaren. So it just all kind of.
Well, they've been kicking asses.
Yeah.
So it's a good year to like McLaren because they've been kicking ass.
They have.
Finally.
I mean, Zach Brown is just an incredible leader, and just from a business perspective, and watching him and his style and sort of what he's been able to accomplish.
It's also nice to have the familiar American accent.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, it's going to get better with Cadillac.
Yeah.
Well, will it get better with Cadillac?
Well,
Or are they going to be the Williams?
Sorry,
shout out to Williams.
This is the wrong podcast for this.
This is getting
But
spicy.
I was saying I meant the American accent.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
there won't be Americans on Cadillac.
There already are.
Think so?
Yeah, Colton Hurto was just announced as the training driver.
Okay.
And then they did a couple of other announcements. I honestly just skimmed through it, so I didn't pay too much attention. But yeah, Colton Hurta.
Yep.
They just announced him as the training driver.
So there's 10 teams currently. Are they dropping a team next year? Is there going to be 22 cars racing next year?
That's a great question. I'm not sure.
Oh, got one.
I know. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I'm just excited that we have an American team.
I'm not sure if there's going to still be 10 teams, and they're going to do like NASCAR style where you have to qualify. All 11 teams show up. The top 10 teams qualify. The one team goes home.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. I know that they're
That'd
doing
be an expensive week to go home.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing a sustainable fuel. They're switching to a sustainable fuel for 2026. So that's actually. So I'm the policy nerd. So I'm like, 11 teams, 10 teams, whatever. But what are you putting in the engine? And so that's also going to be a big deal for them. So that'll be pretty cool, and it's just really just sort of again elevates a lot of the stuff that we're talking about in a sort of cooler way than we can ever talk about it.
I think that like for me growing up, I always followed 24 Hours of Le Mans, and like I think a lot of people forget how much stuff, especially in our new modern cars, come from F1 and endurance racing and just everything motorsports filters down into your daily driver.
Oh, I mean, and the thing is that FIA obviously is very heavily focused on safety, and even I've had the chance to talk and meet with the FIA president Mohammed some few occasions now, and he's a car nut. I mean, and not just like I like pretty cars, like into the details of the engines and the bodies and all that kind of stuff. And he'll sit there and talk about tenths of a kilogram, tenths of a gram of weight compared to power, and how to get it, get the body and get the vehicle even lighter, but still maintaining safety and still being able to let the car do what it's supposed to do. And he's just incredible to talk to, because he's just into that level of minutia.
Yeah, I was sucked into the Formula One rabbit hole on YouTube one night, watching the manufacturing process, if they need a nut or bolt, they literally mill the nut and bolt in-house in the teams. They don't go to a bin and pick it out. They mill that piece for that specific application. I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy detail, crazy weight saving.
I think I saw the exact same video, and what got me was the fact that they still bag it and put a part number on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, we need one. They order one, and the guy makes it. It goes through a packaging process, and then it gets put in a drawer, and then it gets pulled. Like, it's literally manufacturing.
He pulls
and
it off the lathe to give it to the guy, but he's got to put it in a bag and label it. Like, that's wild.
Yeah. No.
It's literally a microcosm of the entire automotive industry in one shop.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that feel like FIA is just as equally invested right now, maybe not to a dollar amount, but in terms of energy in rally car.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you see what they're doing, and they see like, well, how can we get the North American rally car scene? How can we make that a big mechanism for the grassroots racing community? And because Muhammad is a rally car driver by like his historical.
That was his entree into cars.
Oh, I know. I don't know how if you guys have seen it or followed it, but ARA is setting up a big headquarter in Kentucky, and Toyota's North American rally team is also setting up a training center, and there's a whole rally thing. Right
growing on the East Coast.
Yeah. I mean, look, we've got the roads, we've got the scenery, we've got, I think the enthusiast base to do that. And, again, the other thing with FIA and just like with, PRI especially, we want to create opportunity to come into the industry or, to come into the sport.
Yeah.
And, I was on another podcast a couple months ago and they asked me, how did you get into cars and, and how do women get into racing? And obviously I'm not a racer, I'm an amateur racer, but, I said, a lot of it, it's about the accessibility on the front end, right? And also your parents allowing you to do stuff. Like my parents rocked me in bubble wrap. So I wasn't allowed to do anything dangerous. So as soon as I became old enough to figure out how to do stuff, I did it. Yeah. But, so it's the parents, but also part of the parental decision making is the cost, right? And the ability to get into the sport. And so the more that you can do it, and like they were talking a lot at the conference that we were at, about just sim racing.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
Because now and they've even done tests where they've taken sim racers and put them into a car who have never been in said car, and they race as well or better than.
Who's the NASCAR driver that came from sim? He was doing so good racing sim that he got picked up and was racing Infinity or Truck Infinity, and now he's racing Sprint Cup.
Okay.
Because he was racing so good on sim. I can't remember who it is.
How's he doing actually in the car? Don't know.
I got one. I mean,
you don't have mechanical issues in sim. This car just runs like straight shit. There you get on track.
Yeah, I can't remember who it is. Yeah. I'm not that big into NASCAR, but I know there is at least one guy that came from sim racing, worked his way through like Xfinity to Truck Series, and now is racing the Cup Series.
It's an interesting point you brought up with like not having the mechanical breakdowns, but you don't have the fear. Right, like, and that was what I was told because my parents were the same way. I didn't have dirt bikes and go-karts and stuff growing up, and my mom always told me when you move out, you can do whatever you want. And the first thing I did was go and buy a dirt bike. But at 19, 20 years old, I getting into cars, I had my buddy's family friend was a driving instructor for Porsche.
There's a goddamn cougar in the car.
and I was like, I'm like, Scott, put me in a race car. Like I can drive. And he goes, you can't drive.
I can totally do this.
And he's like, even if you can drive, you can't afford the insurance. Right. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, your parents can't afford the insurance, which means you can't afford the insurance. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but I can drive because I'm telling you, I've got a 14-year-old that will outdrive you. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, they don't know any better. You're too late. You've already been on a road. You know the consequences of wrecking a car. You can't drive, but the sim takes that out of it.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you can start much older in a sim because you're not thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah. The chief of my fire department, his son has a college scholarship for sim racing at Liberty. He gets his college paid for sim racing.
Like a professional gamer thing. Yeah. Colleges have gamer teams now.
His sim car
Isn't it in the Olympics, or they're trying to get it in the Olympics?
There's going to be there's going to be esports in the 2020 sports. Is it 28? When's the one in Los Angeles? Is that 26?
28?
28.
I don't know.
I think 26 is a winter
COVID
Olympics.
screwed up the schedule for me.
Yeah, I don't remember now.
It's also,
They just had the Olympics, didn't they? Wasn't there just a Winter Olympics?
24.
I just saw an ad the other night for
was
the
that
next
winter?
stage of Winter Olympics.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know. But either way.
Right.
Different podcast.
Yeah.
This has been
Would it be
Alpine
rude
talk.
for us to pull up Google right now?
We've done it before. Yeah. I'm trying not to look at my phone.
My phone is recording right now. So.
It was a huge. Anyway. What's going to bother you?
When the Olympics are.
Oh yeah. No.
Okay, we're just going to end this.
I swear to
now.
God, we were watching the football game last night, and they're like, "Winter Olympics are going to be here sooner than you realize." I'm like, "What?"
That's why I think winter is 26.
It's August.
It's got to be off year, yeah. Because I think they switched.
They
it
did
to
it. It's every 2 years.
Yeah. So then.
Yeah, I was surprised with how big sim racing was at PRI. There was a whole sim racing area, and we're like, we're gonna sim race.
Okay.
It's really remarkable, like, and the levels of them too, where you like some of them are just basic rigs, and then next you can go all the way up to like it's certifiably a professional.
Well, and it was a 3-hour wait if you wanted to drive one of the cars. Because we're gonna do it. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then we got there. We're like, oh, we just got here, and people got here before we did.
Yeah. And we have a podcast in 45 minutes, and it's a 30-minute walk back to the media center.
We had a sim rig in one of the SEMA lounges, and next time we'll get you guys in on that one.
See, now we're
I don't think it was like a top level one, but that's the one I drove on, and it's like, yeah, you're right. There's no fear. I put in the wall like within 35 seconds. I was just like, oh, that's interesting.
I did.
That's unfortunate. Reset.
It was funny. I'm also not a big NASCAR guy, but I was in Charlotte for a wedding a few years ago, and we had time to kill. We went to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and we're walking around, and
we're so cool.
It is. It's one of the coolest. Like, I'm a big museum Hall of Fame nerd, so I really enjoyed it. But they do the sim racing in the museum. We get out, or the Hall of Fame. We get out, and we're walking around, and all of a sudden this crowd comes into the sim. Like, it's like we're talking 3 minutes after I got out of a car, and it was the Dale Earnhardt Jr. induction ceremony, and they were doing a whole sim racing thing. Like, he ended up literally sitting in the same car that I sat in right after I did. And I'm like, and my wife, who grew up on NASCAR, like Craig's a big NASCAR guy, she's like, who is that? And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
That's Junior.
I'm like, of all the people for you to not recognize.
Right.
And she's like, oh, wait, that's Dale Jr. It's like, yeah.
Her Southern card has been revoked.
Yeah. Pennsylvania.
She was born in Colorado, raised in Virginia. Their family's Pennsylvania, so it's not really Southern. But,
okay, all right.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, I'm like, I know this. How do you not know this? Like, but yeah, it's the sim racing at the Hall of Fame is pretty good.
Yeah, me being as big of like a car nerd as I am, I wanted more technical data.
Yeah,
because I'm like, there's some technical stuff, but with the NASCAR Hall of Fame, I'm like, I want to know more. Give me more.
I see what you're saying.
Give me more technical stuff.
Yeah. Give me nerd stuff.
Back to Paraguay. So what do we were close. We started there. We worked our way back. We got to circle back. It's political. We got to circle back.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's advocacy. There's a difference.
It's advocacy. There you go. Bingo.
Either one of you can you explain that? Because like you've been out of it for a while, but we got accused of becoming a political podcast. And I was like, no, it's not politics. We're not telling you who to vote for. We're just presenting you with the issues that are out there.
We're giving you the facts.
I think advocacy is a nonpartisan thing. It's really about the issues that matter to you and the life that you want to live, the stuff that matters to your family, your friends, and the community that you surround yourself with. And like politics is like, it's finding votes. It's like having meetings with like lawmakers and getting stuff in front of committees and whatever. Advocacy is really just speaking up. And that's what we're trying to do.
Speaking up in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, understanding the issue to the point where you can say, this is how it impacts me, and this is how it impacts the community, and this is why it deserves your support. So that's what advocacy is. You're just literally advocating.
Yeah.
Politicking is like completely different.
Shaking hands, kissing babies.
But it's part of the overall ecosystem of how you can be successful in your advocacy. Right. And it's one of the things that we've done with the public and government affairs team for SEMA is that, we can sit there and advocate all we want. And some organizations, that's all they do. However, we also have the track that we've taken but we also have to weigh in on the political landscape that we're working with, right? Because that does change. Right. And so, some political landscapes are favorable, some are not. And so then we make the decisions of whether or not we get involved in the politics of it to whether we have the ability to affect the landscape we're working with. Because if we're sort of in a situation where they hate us and hate our industry, we're not going to get very far. Not only are we not going to be able to get very far in what we want, we're always going to be on defense to try to protect against the stuff that's being done to us. So it's that balance, but politics is part of that broader ecosphere of how you set up an advocacy program.
But to your point, a lot of people get nervous about the idea of politics. their entryway largely is into advocacy. Yeah, if you want to get into politics, we can map that out for you. We can support you. We can give you a path towards that. It's going to cost you some money, probably.
Right.
But the reality is, it doesn't cost anything to send a letter to a member of Congress or to have a meeting with them or their staff or whatever. And that's why when you guys came in, you guys spoke with the Virginia delegation, but having people on the ground still matters.
Yeah.
It reminds them, when you're beholden to the voters, these are still the people that we need to be listening to. And that's why they took the meeting with you. They didn't probably agree with you when you were walking in, but they took the meeting anyway because you're constituents, you have a voice, and that's where the advocacy side of things come in. And we think that we've been very effective in getting people on the advocacy track through the SEMA Action Network and making sure that our member businesses have a sense of what's going on. And then just, also being one of the few organizations that speaks for the entire community of enthusiasts, not just being like, we're about, the SEMA businesses. Like, no, we've got this entire broad, 70 million people that love their cars, love their trucks, love like doing stuff with them and rely on them on a day-to-day basis. Like, those are the people that we are speaking on behalf, because those are the people that do buy parts and modify their vehicles. But at the same time, like, they still have a vested interest in, having vehicle choice, for example, or access to public lands and that sort of thing. So
Are you guys pushing on the public land access now? So I sent you the Hammers stuff. Are you guys up to date with the airspace at Hammers?
Yeah.
And what's going on with that?
Yeah, we've always had a voice in the access to public lands. I mean, this is actually where we did a lot of work with Orba and other organizations, and we're obviously very close to the King of the Hammers folks. So, we've actually this week have been diving deep into what it is and what it isn't, and so it certainly is going to impact King of the Hammers in terms of the airspace.
Johnson Valley altogether.
Yeah, it's more of the airspace issue because they're trying to lob off the airspace in that area. And so, if it's just us going out in our Jeeps, not a huge impact, but for them, because they use helicopters,
I would say not a
drones,
huge impact, but if you're in Johnson Valley in your Jeep bullshit and bombing around, you roll your Jeep, you need a medevac.
Right, that's exactly
You're
that's
screwed.
what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you've got that airspace piece of it. So we're actually, I was just talking to Eric on the way down. So we've got some guidance and understanding of sort of where to weigh in on this at this point in time. Number one, we have a bit of an issue with the notice of public comment.
Yeah, was it like a week and a half?
Yeah.
It's nothing.
So again, we're utilizing the process and making sure that processes are followed. We also have some question in terms of the mechanism in which they're using to try to set these new restrictions, and we don't believe that's the right way. I've also been talking with a lawmaker, the local lawmaker there, to do some changes into the law so that this can't happen in the future. So there's a lot of moving pieces, and so we wanted to understand fully sort of what was.
It's very fresh.
It's very fresh.
It seems like the bureaucracy has been chipping away at Hammers slowly over the last, I don't know, since they started.
Yeah, no,
and this is a big swing.
Well, it's I don't know if it's a big swing. It's just, it's been a progressive, thing. I think the unfortunate part of it to me is sitting there looking at the U.S. Marine Corps who's doing this. And it's like, these are your people, right? Your Marines are the ones. Actually, Dawn Rowe, who's the supervisor, she's the chair of the local board of supervisors in San Bernardino County. And, she lost her husband in combat. He was a Marine. That's how they were at 29 Palms, and how she even he loved off-roading and whatnot. And so it's like, how can you do this to your own people? Because it's not only, it's their recreational space, it's for them, it was a therapeutical space for them. And so that's a bit of a disconnect to me too. It's that human part of it, going like, why are you doing this to the very people? This is their space. This is their outlet.
Well, and not only that, if this event goes away, then that whole area that surrounds Johnson Valley crumbles.
Yeah.
Because it loses all of its industry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Racing is the industry out there. People got there to test, tune all year round. If they can't do that, it just goes away.
Yeah, and you've got the OHV classification that Congress actually passed to protect the OHV space of Johnson Valley. So I mean, there's also even question about the authority of USMC, the Marine Corps, being allowed to even touch that, because they're actually not supposed to be able to touch that.
Yeah.
But of course they're saying, oh, it's just the airspace. It's like, okay, but again, it's still so.
My biggest thing, and I don't know, I had the same why question, right? Like, there's nothing that keeps them from using it now. I understand from a safety standpoint, but that can be, they already get shared use of the land and the airspace. And you can schedule those restrictions. Like, that's something they can do now. Why do we need a permanent one?
Correct.
For anything, because it's not like it's not a commercial airspace. It's not a populated area. Like, they can go out and fly there any day of the week, anytime they want. Like, why do they have to kick everybody else out?
There is a regional airport there, actually.
Okay.
So, like, even that regional airport.
Is that
it's San Bernardino. No, it's SBA.
Okay.
Something. So it's a small airport, but yeah, that's exactly it. It's sort of, to me, it's almost lazy.
Yeah.
On behalf of the Marine Corps, which you never usually put, lazy and Marine together.
Sure.
Cranes and Marine. Lazy and Marine, not so much.
Yeah, lazy and Marine, not usually the thing. And to me, it's a very lazy way of, oh gosh, I don't want to have to deal with this, and this. And it's like, well, you know what? Like, it is our land.
Yeah, put your big boy pants on.
Yeah.
It's also only for 3 weeks a year that there's air traffic out there.
Well, for the hammers.
For the hammers. But that's the big air traffic. I don't think there's any other big events that go on at Johnson Valley.
I mean, not to my knowledge.
Yeah. So it's 3 weeks a year. You have helicopters and drones buzzing around.
Right.
Other than that, the other 50 weeks,
which they're not exactly
weeks.
Doing low flybys and bombing runs during hammers anyways.
No, well that's
why
you set a schedule.
They
right?
want to, Tom.
Well, so that this is my problem. And
target practice.
These days I'm running.
Get that bomber going.
Yeah.
I'm running out of tinfoil for my hats, but to me it's the next like page in that bigger grab of whatever it is that we see. It's been all over Utah and Arizona and out west, where it's just like we're just inching further and further into restricting it or changing a classification or whatever it is.
But it goes back to, again, the U.S. Marine Corps of all.
Right.
That's not the one you think.
Right. But it kills me because, like, the whole land use thing that we just got through, we had the entire outdoor community behind us.
Yeah.
Like, everyone in the outdoor space got together and kicked Congress's ass. They did it. We know we can do it. It's the fact that the hikers and the mountain climbers and the mountain bikers don't care about the OHV guys, but the OHV guys care about everything.
Right.
Like, we need to, everything we need to get on the same page with.
Yeah.
Is if we lose this space here, you may not be able to hike there or mountain bike there or do that stuff too. So, like, when it comes to any of the outdoor space, we need to get everyone together, and I don't know how we mobilize people to do that, but we can.
I don't think mobilization is the hard part. I think there's actually a lot of organizations, including SEMA, that mobilizes, and the off-road community is a very aggressive. We're a very aggressive group of people, right? And
we like our trails.
Yeah, we like our trails. I think some of it is the working together, and I don't think that comes naturally to us all the time as a community. And so I think it's the working together and coordinating and understanding who does what best and sort of, capitalizing on each area's talents and strengths. So I think that it's more the coordination and the collaboration and the, and I'm sure people might be rolling their eyes like, blah, blah, blah. That sounds so corporate speak, but it actually, like, when we do,
it's all
look
corporate.
at what we did with EV mandates. Look at what we did, right? We all got on the same page. We all mobilized. We all listened to the direction. We had to do a lot of push and pull, like, okay, quiet down. Okay, volume up, and, that's not a bad word, right? Coalitions and collaboration is not a bad word. And so I think that's one of our challenges in the off-road community in particular, is that we really have to work together. And I think we're going to be a lot more impactful and to be able to do this kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I think if there's a way we can work together among ourselves, but also embrace the whole outdoor community together, along with the motorsport side, is a really good way to kick this in the butt. And
there's look, we talk about all the other different disciplines, if you will, the hikers, the bikers, and look, regular mountain bikers fight with mountain bikers.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And it was
It's a
interesting.
big fight. It's wild.
Yeah.
As an mountain biker,
like
which
Toyotas
still
and
doesn't
Jeeps.
improve my mountain biking skills, I still fall and hurt myself. So
I've never been. I'm 30 years old. I've never been on an e-bike.
I have a mountain bike over here somewhere that hasn't moved since I moved here from Colorado in 2013.
Yeah.
We can tell.
Thanks.
yeah, I still fall
Thanks,
off. It
Tim.
doesn't matter if I have an e-assist or not.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, so I think the problem is me.
Yeah.
But like we were out there, we're doing a Tread Lightly project, doing a trail stewardship program, and so I was talking to the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management
Was this in
representative.
Moab building the fence?
This was actually last year, but it was also
Okay.
building a fence. Actually,
Nice.
It seemed to be a good
A
fence
theme.
builder.
Fence builder.
A
A lot of
theme
fences.
builder. A
A lot of fences.
Yeah, lots of fences. And
Just make sure it's
so-
not a wall.
not a wall. Not a wall. We haven't been deployed for that mission yet. Just kidding.
Different podcast.
Different podcast. And so anyways, I was talking to the fellow, and he's a mountain biker, and his perspective, it was interesting. He said, we actually love Easter Jeep Safari Week because the Jeeps are, low and slow, right?
Yep.
And so it actually is the time of year that we actually can cohabitate very
Yeah.
well because Jeeps don't speed. We don't speed, right? We can't.
The
we
side-by-sides
can't.
ruin
The
everything.
side by
Ruin
sides go
everything.
flying, right? And so they're like, no, we actually like it when
Yeah.
it's a Jeep event in town because it's safer for us on the trails. So I was like, oh, that's an interesting perspective, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I think I made this point 2 years ago on the podcast. Is like, just because you're a mountain biker, you're a fly fisherman, you're a kayaker, you're a hiker, you are still a vehicle. You still do vehicle-based travel.
Yep.
You have to get there somehow. So whether you know it or not, you are still an automotive enthusiast because you need that 4x4 to get to your trail.
Yeah, even if it is a Subaru.
Even if it's.
I was just gonna say that.
You know what, Matt? My wife just bought a Subaru. It's the ultimate Subaru because it's a Crosstrek.
See? Good company.
It doesn't get worse than a Crosstrek.
I couldn't leave
It's,
that door
it-
open.
It was gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
One of these
I've driven
things
up
is not
roof
like
racks.
the other.
Hey, at least it's got 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
yeah.
All the wheels spin
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
sometimes.
And I would argue there are Subarus that are significantly more capable than Toyotas. I'm just putting that out there.
All right.
I thought we weren't
I've
supposed to be
owned
political.
Subarus. Oh well, all right.
Listen, I may have
Sorry,
leverage.
you're right.
I may have leverage over a Subaru dealership right now, so I might try and get one for 24 hours of Appalachia.
I would not. I don't think a Subaru has finished 24 hours yet. That's a question
you,
for Chad.
you want to be the
Challenge
first?
accepted.
Now, how funny would it be if it is an ascent of all the Subarus to enter in, and you finish in the ascent? with
third
So
row.
here's,
and,
here's
you
the thing:
know.
do we put Willem from FIA in the Subaru,
Yes.
and
Oh,
we go in
done.
the Jeep?
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, you got people at Vermont Supercar, right?
Which
Or
one?
Vermont, is it Vermont Supercar? Or is that the
rally
rally car?
I don't think it's supercar.
It's Vermont something.
sports car, Vermont sports car, something like that.
I don't know. They build Travis Pastrana's Subaru.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just you guys probably got people there. Just grab one of those for 24 hours.
Yeah, Travis Pastrana. He was
Yeah.
like the keynote at PRI.
PRI,
Like,
yeah.
He has a Subaru. What's the problem?
He's
here?
also broken every bone in his body.
Okay.
At
He
least-
doesn't just have a Subaru. Subaru gave him cars that he I don't know if you follow him on YouTube.
yeah.
Subaru gave him like 3 cars.
He did also launch a Z06 Corvette.
It wasn't a Z06.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
It was
You're
a
right.
base model.
It was a base model. They traded it in. That's right.
No, he got a total base model. There's more to that backstory.
Yeah, yeah.
So he won the Z06 at
From
Cletus.
Yeah, yeah.
They spray painted the car that he sent out, had it cleaned. So he got that car with a nice wrap on it back, but then he also got a base model, a total base model
Right.
that he jumped.
Yeah. Well, and then retotaled.
Yeah, then returned. Well, he didn't even jump it. It was Jim York.
The point is, anything can go off road if you try hard enough,
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Fair enough.
or drive it wrong enough.
Well, if you go to, I don't know if you guys have ever been out at King of Hammers, but
Not yet.
there are lifted Miatas.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like big tires, and
Yeah.
it's like a thing. And
Yeah.
I was like, wait,
Yeah, they're
is that a
sweet.
Miata? It's like, yeah.
Yep.
So you can take anything off.
They still
it.
lift kits for minivans.
We are doing another Toyota Sienna.
Are you really?
No.
I of all the minivans that exist and have lift kits available for them, the Toyota Sienna is the most popular minivan that we've lifted.
Well,
This will be our fifth one.
We should let Toyota's off-road guy know this.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to accept taking the minivan.
Well,
I saw
Chrysler's
something
off
the
guy
other day.
knows.
I was gonna say, if you go back to the last
Last week.
episode we just put out, I completely roast Chrysler for turning the Pacifica into an off-road minivan. But there's a reason, and if you listen to the episode, you already know this. But they took the third row out of the minivan. It's only a concept, but it's a 4-seater minivan on 31s with a roof rack. I'm like, you just built an SUV with a sliding door. Like, it's not a minivan anymore.
Mm-hmm. This is how my world's blending together, because I was like, oh yeah, I saw something about this the other day, and then you're like, we talked about it the other day, and I was like, it was you guys. That
Yeah, I just posted the Instagram clip yesterday.
So there are
that's
now
exactly
3
what it
people
was.
talking about this.
Yes, this is the echo chamber. This is
This is how it works.
So
So back to Paraguay.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get there
yes.
eventually.
We'll stay focused.
Yeah, the off-road minivan, the Subaru.
Did you have a question?
Paraguay.
Oh yeah, back to Paraguay. I thought we were just making a bit out of it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So what did you guys actually do with FIA in Paraguay?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We're brand new to the organization. You have to be voted in, and then when you come in, generally you have junior status, and you kind of just sit in the corner of a room, and people look at you like, "Are you good? You want some water or anything?" And but
the proverbial cuck chair, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so every hotel room has one, But in this case, because there's been such an appetite for American feedback and involvement in like safety and mobility policy, and to the motorsports side too. But there was a lot of energy and interest in hearing what we've been doing, how we've been doing, what we're, how we've been doing it, and then what we're doing next. So I think, it was a lot of, it feels like a conference in any other stretch. So, there's speakers and panels and people talking, and you've got little side meetings and whatever. But, there's these really valuable conversations that happen on the side that you can't just do on Teams and Zoom, that allow you to have the important have you thought about this? Yeah, it's really, and just having a little bit more of an informal conversation about some of the issues and challenges. And, we're talking to our friends from Jamaica, and they're like, our thing isn't really cars, but like our mobility and safety stuff is really in the motorcycle community. Because you get these kids that are building motorcycles out of parts that they're salvaging. So nobody knows how safe these things are or what they look like or whatever. And we're also trying to get them to wear helmets, and we can't get them culturally to accept that, but they want to drive fast and they want to do stunts and whatever. Those are the kind of side conversations that don't come from a panel, and they don't come from an organized meeting. But they're things that just happen because there's good energy and engagement. Mm-hmm. So a lot of that was us kind of testing the waters of what these meetings involve, who the right people are to go to these meetings and represent SEMA, where there are, opportunities and congruencies and other things that we should be talking about, not just for the United States and North American space, but like how we can provide, our expertise and feedback for, global issues. That's really what FIA is.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're, they have a UN working group within FIA. So we'll be part of that, because again, there's a real absence of the American voice or the American automotive voice in that space. And so, because again, I always sort of joke is sort of all the bad ideas start in Europe. Mm-hmm. And then they go to California, and then they come to the rest of the country. Yeah. And, look, the UN is the UN. No, I'm not. We certainly don't come into this with rose-colored glasses. Like, we're here. Like, everything's going to change and be fabulous. That's not, that's not the expectation. But the fact is that there's some real life expertise and understanding, especially in the space of vehicle technology and vehicle safety, that the U.S. brings to the table. And so now we have a seat at that table at the global level. So we're not going to fix everything, but at least there's a consideration. And it was interesting because it was, in the panel discussions and whatnot. And I sat on a panel, stuff that's very normal to us as Americans, mm-hmm. completely foreign to other people. Just how we think about things and how we approach things and whatnot. And so it was it was interesting to have those conversations, and you get a lot of we didn't think of it that way, or we don't consider this, and it's so it was good. It was a good first entree into the community, and look forward to more work with them. We'll have some folks from the FIA itself, as well as some of the mobility clubs from around the world joining us at the SEMA show this year.
That's cool.
And really, because one of the things, like the German club is a very strong club. Obviously, the Germans are top notch in terms of vehicle safety, innovation, and the research that they've done. So I'm really excited to get that partnership happening and that discussion happening between SEMA Garage as well as the German group, because there's just and the Germans and the Swedes, Volvo, tend to be a lot more forthcoming with regards to sharing information and sharing research and sharing technologies, especially in the space of safety.
They're big on safety.
Yeah. And so like Volvo has always believed that, I forget what is that Volvo started with. I don't know if it was like the locking seatbelt, or there was something about their seatbelt technology
the
that
self-tensioning
they did.
seatbelts.
I think that might have been it. And they didn't believe that should be proprietary to them. So they opened that to the rest of the industry to adapt, because that was the right thing to do
to make everything and everyone safer.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I'm excited, as much as we may pick on Europeans here in the US, but there's obviously there's a different mindset and a different as well as added value in terms of research and technology that I think is going to be really important to the aftermarket, quite frankly.
There's also some places where we're just frankly ahead of them in terms of like the conversations that we're already having, the research that we're doing, the role of like modified vehicles and how they interact with some of the safety systems, these soon to be required safety systems that automatic front braking and that sort of thing. We're having those conversations now, and because they don't really modify cars very heavily in Europe, it's just not part of that scene. They haven't really thought about it. This gives us an opportunity to be really forefront of the voice and bring in stakeholders. They shouldn't care what we want to do with regards to, helping lead policy that allows for modification. So getting their support should be pretty.
And you guys also
good.
have the resources where if they have any interest in modifying their vehicles, they could, I don't know how easy it would be, but they could import that vehicle to one of the SEMA garages, modify it, test it in your facility. Unmodify it, because I'd probably have to unmodify it to send it back home because shipping and international regulations. But they now have access to the facilities to do these tests.
Yeah, as well as just the overall technology research or all of that.
Is ADAS a North American thing? Like, is that's everywhere, right? Okay.
Yeah,
because I know like that's, at least in the off-road community, I feel like probably the biggest safety related thing that we have to worry about, I'll say.
And I feel like the Australians are talking about it frequently as well. Maybe not as frequently as us, but they obviously a big off-road scene.
I was going to say they're probably one of the
but they also have
the second biggest.
Some of the strictest modification laws, though. It's a very restrictive country. I don't know the whys of it yet. But that's been repeated to me. And so like even the Australians were at the SEMA show last year. And we didn't know we were being interviewed, and all of a sudden, come join the FIA. But we were being interviewed without maybe knowing we were being interviewed. But so the Australians, and they've got a ton of research in this space too. But they have really restrictive modification stuff. And then the other, to kind of bring it full, let's go around the globe. Now with so the Japanese market tends to really love American everything.
It's funny because the American market loves Japanese.
Yeah, I know. We all love each other. But the fact is that now with all the different tariff and trade negotiations going on, with the opening of the U.S. automotive market into Japan, whole new space for us. Now, is that going to happen tomorrow?
That's interesting because of the Japanese regulations on automobiles. Is because like you have to get a rigorous safety inspection every year, and like at the 5-year mark, it's got to be. I don't know exactly the specifications of it, but there's highly rigorous inspection standards for their vehicles. That's why there's so many new cars in Japan, and it's so safe because that you have to take your cars off the road.
Interesting. I'm actually going to Japan in 2 weeks. So I'll be asking those questions.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm there on a personal trip.
No,
so
nice.
Fun.
I'll be hanging out with a friend of mine from high
Heck
school.
yeah.
So. So tell me about your safety program on your car.
Yeah.
Just get a car.
Can
bring it
you,
in for
can you
inspection.
run me through the vehicle inspection process?
She'll be like, I was hoping to hear how your family is, Karen. No, I don't want to talk
No,
about that.
tell me about your cars.
Yeah, tell me about
Do you
the
guys do
cars.
emissions testing?
So it's really exciting, and ADAS, actually Europe is probably ahead of us on ADAS policy and technology, but again, how it affects them is different than how it affects us here in the U.S.
We're also looking at different timelines for things, because when you join FIA, and then there's a lot of onboarding, and there's a lot of meetings, and you're learning bits and pieces. And at one point they were like, "Oh no, we're doing this thing on ADAS, and it's with the UN, and we're trying to really push for global legislation," is what they call it. It's not the same as what we would do, but global legislation, very fast moving. And I was like, I come in, it's like, we need to be in on this or whatever. And she's like, yeah, let's get this meeting together. And then when we saw them in Paraguay, we're like, so when we talk about fast moving, they're like, is it American fast moving, or is this UN? They're like, oh no, you've got years.
Oh, jeez.
We were thinking that there's going to be something in 6 months.
Yeah, we're like, oh my god, do we have to divert?
Yeah.
No.
So that meeting at the end of September now is a little bit better planned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting that I've been in the industry my entire life, and I don't think I would have ever considered the UN to be discussing automatic driver assist systems.
Yeah.
That's just not a thing I ever would
Yeah.
have expected.
But it ultimately will impact you.
Oh, yeah.
'cause, going back to my little joke, everything bad starts in Europe.
Yeah.
That's where UN tends to percolate, and then it makes its way. And so, I've dealt with the UN previously in my career. I tend to not be the one that runs point on it, because it just frustrates the hell out of me.
Those accents they get me going.
No, it's not even the accents. It's just the lack of speed.
Oh yeah.
And the amount of research and studying
You're
and
telling me
studying.
It's not just
research and
European
studying.
restaurants that takes forever.
Yeah, no.
Are you from the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay, so I had that feeling when I moved to Colorado, and I was like, okay, can we can we
Step
get
it up
rolling
a
here?
little?
Can we do something?
Step it up a little.
Yeah. So I can only imagine.
Yeah.
You get international, and you get what, 400 something countries represented,
and then it's not transparent, right? As much as Americans we scream, lack of transparency at every turn.
No.
But, and conspiracy and all those, all that kind of stuff, and collusion and corruption, it ain't nothing compared to what, and having dealt within UN agencies in the past, in my past lives, it's just you literally have to find a mole that maybe likes you this much to maybe share with you what's going on, and maybe that might be correct, and then you have to find it's crazy.
As a car enthusiast, I'm very happy to have you, because
I
do not have the patience to do that myself.
Not at all.
I'd just be fighting people and getting thrown out.
Well, it's wild, because coming from our event in DC, we overheard conversations that were in the political sphere that we shouldn't have heard, the oil filter adapter housing conversations.
That's all public now.
Well, that wasn't back then, though.
Yeah. But that wasn't really politics. That was more business.
Well, that had to do with politics and the changing scope of the future.
The
just
rumors that the Hemi was coming back to Dodge were being discussed over drinks at the hotel. And I was like, really? It's coming back? And they're like, yeah. And then it was a month later, they
announced
Kaniskas comes back and he's like, hey, V8s. And I'm like, yay, wait, I knew this already.
Yeah, we heard this.
But it feels good that you were in the know ahead of time.
He's like, do we know that? Is that real? I'm like, I think that's a pretty credible source.
Yeah, but it's the not the lackadaisical conversations in the U.S. where everyone just kind of fat lips and talks about everything, compared to the tight-lipped conversations that you have to weasel your way into and overhear secretly of.
And overcoming some of these misconceptions, or just these reputational things. I had a guy from Costa Rica, great guy, got me upgraded on a flight. But he said to me, well, you know what your problem is in the United States? Your vehicles, your trucks, they're so heavy. Your cars and trucks are so heavy, and they're too heavy. And I was like, Yeah, they totally are. You're absolutely right. Have you seen what an EV does when it hits a guardrail? And he's like, what? And I was just like, yeah, no, there's a video. It just decimates it. Like, you hit it with an F-150 and like it just does whatever. But like you hit it with like a Tesla, that thing just blows up. And he's just like, what? And I was just like, yeah, you should look it up. And it's like they just don't have like, they have these like weird kind of notions of what the American automotive scene is.
Yeah.
And like, no, we do have big vehicles, but like the reality is, I mean, there's a lot
we
of
have
like
big land.
but there's a lot of nuance there too that just doesn't play on television or on internet forums. So
Well, it was funny because even when we did the Sema DC staff, what they drive series, and so the young
great, by the way.
young lady out in I think she's out west, Larity, the truck girl. Christine
Laramie,
Laramie. And so she's like, why doesn't anybody have a truck? It's like, we live in a city. We can't, trust me, I'm actually gonna get rid of one of my Jeeps, I think, and buy like a normal car. So when I have to do a long road trip, kind of thing.
How many Jeeps do you have? You say one of my Jeeps.
So between my husband and I, we have 4.
Okay, it's not a hateful amount of Jeeps.
You should be sharing the wealth with the rest of the staff. That should be like, bonus time. Hey, you get a Jeep, and you get a Jeep.
Yeah.
You guys need some?
Exactly.
I got a couple spares.
And I know a guy that can help modify them for you.
I got one that doesn't run. You want that one?
Yeah.
I got a couple that don't run.
Yeah.
I got enough parts to make another one.
Jeep. Yeah.
Let's do it.
But yeah, like with her, with the as I'm thinking about it, because I was like, well, maybe I'll get like a Tacoma. Like I'm leaning towards a 4Runner, but I was like, Tacoma like is practical, but it's the trucks are nice now, like they're not trucky,
Oh yeah.
And and I was like, no, it would drive me crazy to drive this in the city, and so like I can't. And even though Tacoma's not very big, but they're still
long.
They're long.
I mean, parking in these narrow underground garages.
Well, like my yellow Jeep,
you need Subaru.
Never.
Oh, they're not that bad.
Front and rear camera. It is so easy to parallel park.
So does the Jeep.
Yeah.
The Jeep also has a front and rear camera.
It's also got a diesel and 37s.
Yeah.
And they both get 30 miles to the gallon.
Yes.
No, I live that. I moved here from Colorado. I had a Nissan Frontier, and it was a manual. And I still one of my favorite trucks I ever owned. And I was living in Woodbridge. I worked in Fairfax. I was 22, single. I was in DC all the time. And the only time like my friends would ride with me was if it snowed. They were like, "Oh, you got a truck? We'll drive your truck." But we never took the truck anywhere else because it was a nightmare to park. And I ended up trading it in for a BMW. And I was like, "Oh, now I get it." And now that I live out here, I have multiple Jeeps and trucks.
Right. Now you have the land space.
But I also we kept my wife's old Honda Civic that's got 200 something thousand miles on it because it still gets 30 miles to the gallon, and if we're going into the city or whatever it is, it's why take the new Kia when we can take the old Honda.
Don't beat her,
And you
hopefully
don't care
somebody steals it and we'll get the insurance check.
Like you don't care if it gets dinged.
Yeah,
and all that
the
kind of
bumper
stuff.
is literally zip tied together. I hit a deer.
No, you hit a deer.
Okay, I hit a deer.
You fixed your bumper.
And then I fixed the bumper, and then I ripped it off on your retaining wall.
After a podcast
6
at my
months
house.
later, at like 2 a.m.
He left my driveway, and I'm like, I think Tom hit something. And I called him, like, hey, your bumper's in my front yard. He goes, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, check when you get home.
We did the drifter stitch zip tie thing, put it back together, and that I drove that from here to Michigan for our America's Most Wanted training.
Oh wow!
Like PJ and I drove that thing 9 hours there, 9 hours back through a snowstorm in Michigan in the middle of March. Like, it's been a great car, but it's you got to have a car for everything.
Yeah.
And that's,
what were you saying when you guys had the modified vehicles in at the garage? What's it, 17 miles a gallon or something?
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That was
What are you laughing about? That's my daily driver.
But like you can't sustain that around here. Like
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Oops.
That's my JK Jeep. That's roughly what I get.
Yeah, my GX gets 16, 17.
Yeah.
I drive that every day.
We just did a family.
Get with the times, man.
Yeah. Don't listen to the Subaru driver.
I just drove down to.
She's like, anything less than 25, I'm not touching it.
Matt, you got really quiet for the rest of the podcast.
Sit in your corner.
Yeah.
We got a chair for you.
It might have some spider webs on it, but no, I just drove my Grand Cherokee, which is my old Grand Cherokee, but back to me new, and we just took that to the Eastern Shore, and I was like, I'm looking at the
You
screen.
drove that all the way down?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, oh, 19.5 miles to the gallon. Yes. And it's a 20-gallon tank. So it's only a quarter tank. I'm like, this is great. Did a whole road trip on a quarter tank. This is the best vehicle I own. Because the diesel gets half of that. The JK, I don't even want to know. Like, that thing's...
My JK just guzzles.
Yeah.
Like,
It laughs at you.
yeah,
You watch the
it's-
fuel gauge move. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Or
actually, no. My JK. My JL is great, but
Yeah.
my JK
Well, yeah, that
is,
diesel's so
yeah,
good. It's such
awesome.
a shame they took that out of that platform because it's such a good motor.
Maybe now that
Maybe.
maybe
Work the EPA a little bit here.
Come on, guys.
I know it's coming close to its 10-year anniversary, so they got to change it up somehow. You get a new body style and you get a new powertrain.
I think
so. Maybe we'll get the Hurricane and a diesel back.
Did you actually I'm gonna assume you didn't fully edit it, or did you just post the audio from the last podcast? With
No,
Louis?
it was video and audio. I made it to the 55-minute mark of the 120, an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I couldn't listen anymore because the baby needed attention.
Sure.
So I just kind of cut it together
Alright.
and exported it.
So-
So I missed the last 30 minutes of the episode, but I got the first 50.
I talk about how like Chrysler in North America is going through a huge change right now, and like Dodge and Ram are obviously the focus, which should be, but I think 26 into 27 model year, Jeep is going to do a lot of upgrading. And
So I was going to say it's going to be the
things.
28 model year because that's when the JL turns 10 years old. They'll change it.
I think we're going to see some experimentation of stuff in the 27 model year without changing the platform.
Yeah.
Like the same way right now, the 2-door's only available in a V6 manual, right? Like
because they're trying to get rid of all those things.
they're starting that process of turning stuff over. And
Which if you want a cheap Jeep, get a 2-door manual V6. They're not that expensive.
don't
Yeah.
the
Well,
modern
my-
version of the 3.6 is such.
My husband has a 2014.
They made
Oh,
the
yeah.
3.6
Yeah.
worse.
How?
One less quart of oil and a thinner oil.
That would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband has a 2014, which it's fun to drive, but I don't love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not. If we have to drive anywhere in it, like I'm just usually miserable. And he
Yeah.
also has it fully all outfitted for
Yeah.
overlanding and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, let's just use
The more
mine.
I drive mine, the less I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless I'm off road, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I like this
My
thing.
wife complains about the J. We got this. Our Jake is a 16. She complains about it every time she drives it.
Yeah.
She's like, it needs springs and shocks. And I'm like, it just needs springs. The shocks are fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it rides like garbage.
Yeah, I think actually after I got the diesel, my husband's like, okay, now you have the more masculine vehicle than I do. He's like, I think I need to switch out. I need to
Yeah.
trade in the 2014. And I'm like, but you've spent all this time building it. Like it's a
over.
well built. Like
Yeah.
he's outfitted it really, really
You
well.
use it for
and
what you
everything, but-
want. Just don't use it for anything else.
Yeah, yeah. So because I was driving into the city for a little while because I was like, oh, this is fun having a manual, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
Matt's like, my Subaru is really good. It starts every
Gets
morning.
really good gas.
Comfy
Does it have
and-
heated seats? It's got the heated seats and it's got the butt fan too.
Oh, the butt fan is a
That
game
cools it.
changer.
It's a game changer.
I haven't had that in a car. I had it in a rental, and I was like, and then like the person had left it. It was in Florida. It left it on, and
butt
it was
fan?
on automatically as soon as I started. It was a Suburban, and I was like,
Yeah, it's nice. At first you were like, wait, what's just happening? And
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, this is
Is
delightful.
this a secret
my-
way of calling it happy ending?
My wife's.
No.
It's a sustained ending.
Listen, I run hot enough that it is a prank for my wife to turn on the heated seat when I'm driving without me noticing.
I did it in 24 hours Appalachian.
Yeah,
You cussed me out. You're
Yeah.
like, why is my seat so hot?
And she'll do it in the key all the time because the buttons are like on her
Yeah.
side, and she'll just reach over and I don't notice it, and I'm just cruising down the highway like, why am I sweating?
I will say, speaking of buttons, the Subaru does get a plus because the buttons do have a very nice tactile feel.
They do.
When you click a button, it actually clicks and
Yeah.
moves. I love that about my wife's Subaru.
I do miss buttons. I'm sick of touchscreen stuff.
Yeah, it was actually a conversation we were having at the Detroit garage because we GM had a measuring session.
Are they bringing
there.
buttons back and a volume knob? Can I get it?
What was the car that had like 35 buttons in the center dash though? I can't
I
remember.
think it was a Lexus.
Was
There
it a
were-
Lexus?
Lexus used to do button like an individual button for everything. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyways, but it was a conversation. and,
Tactile
you know,
buttons
because
awesome,
there
yeah.
was like the big thing with the Z06. That was one of one of the vehicles. There is the
flat paint
the
crank.
panel, like how they set up the panel and where they put everything, and started a whole conversation about like the tactile buttons. And then there's even now we're starting to see discussions and research about even like these giant screens in these cars, and is that now more of a distraction then the distractions you're trying to get rid of.
Go back to the Den style radio. Go back to the Den style radio. Go back to the Den style radio.
I don't think you're gonna get that lucky.
Oh, those are the best.
I just want a volume knob. Like I just had to order a new head unit for the Grand Cherokee, and there's like 3 options that have a volume knob.
Yeah.
Everything else is a button, and I'm like, I just want.
Give
me a dial.
It doesn't hurt when you're driving along and you gotta like you're hunting for something while trying to focus. And like the knob's there. It's a knob. You know what it is.
Yep.
It's gonna do what you need it to do.
Unless you have, I'm okay with not having a volume knob if you have steering wheel controls.
Right.
That's I ended up splurging to get the steering
I
wheel
always
control
forget
thing
to
to
use
get them
those.
back.
$25.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think any of our vehicles have a non-volume knob. I don't know. My husband's truck may, but I don't get to drive that one. I'm not allowed to
I do
drive that.
use the steering wheel controls though when I want to subtly up when my wife's like, turn down the radio, it's too loud, and then I'm like,
Creep it back
sneaking
up.
it
You're one of those. You're one of those.
Yeah, I am.
No, I do the same thing. The baby's sleeping. Turn down the music.
Yeah.
It's Taylor Swift anyway. All right.
You got to fade it to the front. That's how you keep it quiet for the kid. It's a dad tip for you.
Good to know.
Yeah. Just but then like
I don't think the Subaru has that option.
the super
It certainly
everybody
does.
has fade.
Oh,
Oh
does it?
yeah,
balance.
everything's got, and that's on the screen though. You can
Yeah.
kind of direct it where you need to go. It's either in the middle or you can move it around.
That's the first thing when we do the road trip to South Carolina to visit my parents. We leave here at 10 o'clock at night, and I drive through the night just so the kid sleeps and just makes everything easier. And then you hit Buc-ee's at 5 a.m. in South Carolina, and there's nobody there, and breakfast is fresh. It's perfect. But it's the first thing I do is I move the speaker all the way to the driver front. She sleeps, the kid sleeps, and I just listen to podcasts for 8 hours and cruise down the highway. Mm-hmm. We can't get rid of that. Just make sure.
I don't think the fade's ever going to go away.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's the opposite.
I mean, it's
of
been
what
in
it
there
was
since
high
I don't know
school.
the 70s.
Yeah. It's just not a little slider knob.
Yeah.
I mean, in high school we just put the bass in the back.
Oh, I had my bazooka.
Oh, yeah.
subwoofer.
Yeah.
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 I never got in the audio. I always just changed head units. I
Oh,
never
I-
did anything else to the audio.
I wasn't really into audio, but I had 2 big ass 12s and a giant sub box in my XJ in high school.
It's the only thing I could afford.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
probably the only modification I've ever done to a vehicle is having a.
We're gonna
like-
fix you.
I know.
Just bring
trying.
that. Just leave the Subaru here. I'll drop you at home after this, and
Come back. It's
just come back in a week or so.
like 16 inches taller.
Leave your credit card.
It won't be that big. That's a lot of work. I can't do that for free. We can try and do like a full like solid axle swap drop subframe type thing, but it's gonna
Just
not be very good at
do a
being
bumper
super.
swap. You know.
Yeah. I'm sure someone makes a bumper for an Ascent. I'm sure
Or
someone
you
makes.
can
a
fabricate like a nice.
Oh, yeah,
bar,
we
roll
can-
bar,
we can make
you know,
something.
kind of thing.
I would be curious to see. Like I know the Legacy Outback platform is very like component wise is the same. Like they share a lot of drivetrain parts.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Ascent falls into that.
I don't
I have
know.
to look.
It was not at the top of the
I just think we put
questions
it-
that I
I
was
think we-
asking when I bought it. So
I love doing that to car sales guys. I'm like, you can get a lift kit for that? No. What? I did when we got the Kia. Like, it was like, how big of a tire can I fit without a lift? And the car guy's like, sales guy's like, what?
see, that's the thing. I need to have like some like preordained questions that I can ask that like establish like, oh, this guy's not messing around. Like,
oh,
that's right. It's like written on my hand.
Right.
Like,
we'll give you questions that just make the whole thing a bit.
yeah.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is you have to ask the question that doesn't make sense but sounds good.
Exactly,
Right? Like, how
exactly.
big of a tire can I fit? And the guy's like, oh, I don't
Just think
know.
of flat plane crank.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going on with this
how
thing?
Many, how many turbos?
How many turbos?
How many turbos?
They know the answer to that one though.
Sometimes. Depends on the sales guy. So what do you guys have going on for the rest of the year besides the show?
So we really officially launched our Right to Modify campaign.
That's a big one.
I guess a couple weeks ago with our communication to the Department of Transportation. So Congress next year is going to be considering the highway bill. Every so many years, they have to reauthorize the agencies and funding and the priorities and all that kind of stuff. So next year is transportation year. So it's the highway bill. So that's all starting. All those conversations inside the agencies as well as inside Congress are starting right now. So we have been working for this along with SEMA Garage for like probably close to a year now, actually. Shocking. I can't believe it's been that long, but we've brought in a lot of our stakeholders, members who are going to be impacted by essentially ADAS products and how our products interact with ADAS systems. And so had a symposium, the garage hosted a symposium back in May to kind of like, it was kind of a workshop working group kind of thing. And which helped us develop what are our priorities and how do we want, what is it that we want in order to address this. So that's really, it's going to be a lot of education on the Hill. It's going to be a lot of education within our membership. Obviously, our membership understands what right to modify is, but how we're tying this into, again, the future of vehicle technology. We're not trying to solve for what right now. We're trying to solve for the next 20 plus years. Because, I've had somebody say to me, well, I never buy new cars, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, oh. Today's new car is going to be
a used car.
At any point afterwards.
Right.
So.
We had a conversation when we met Dave Cole about the agricultural industry and how they lost the right to modify and to maintain. Yep. And he hadn't heard it that way before. So explaining it the way that the agricultural industry does blows people's minds. Yeah. Like if you buy a John Deere, you cannot change your oil without going to the dealership.
Right. Exactly. Or having somebody come out to do it. And it has to then be beamed in that everything's okay. Obviously you guys know where I live on a very large farm, and we don't run the farming operation, but it's listening to my husband's cousin just like steams out of his ears. I
mean, Tesla does the same thing now, right? Like if you don't use Tesla parts and you end up back at a service center for whatever reason, you've lost your entire warranty.
Yeah, I mean there's some of those protections are already in place through Magnus and Moss. So some of those protections are in place. For us, it's not about that, and that's why we're not active on the Repair Act, which is the right to repair bill that we've traditionally supported. Sure. Because to us, it's actually that's an issue, right? But for our industry, it's the modification. Part of it.
It's the other half of it, right?
It's the other half of it, yeah.
Because what we do. And this has just kind of been the trend we've seen the last couple of years, are people aren't buying new cars for various reasons. Right. So they're bringing us their old Jeep that needs a ton of repair, and that's their time of going, well, now I'm going to buy my lift kit. Right. Like I know the shocks are blown out. Let's do the lift kit. I'm out of warranty. I know it's going to cost this much. I want to spend the extra money. Give me the bigger tires. Give me the light bars. Start fixing it with all the stuff
I want to do. And the thing is that even with modification and with ADAS systems, it's not even, because everyone and that's the easy way for us to talk about it. It's about lifts, right? Yep. So what's it going to do to the cameras and to the radar, LiDAR, all of the different systems. But I think one of the things that's really important is that it's actually even the most basic of modifications that can actually impact the performance of an ADAS system, a car wrap. Yeah, everyone thinks like that's a simple thing to do, right? It's easy peasy, but if it's not positioned right, it can affect it. You want to switch out your side view mirrors, right? Your Jeep people. Well, if there's a sensor, lane departure sensor in there, we have to make sure that is talking to the system. Yeah. So it's like, it's really a bumper, it's really basic stuff. So you don't even have to be, if you will, us more extreme people that do lifts and everything.
I mean, the China Amazon parts don't work anymore because they don't have the adaptation for the ADAS system. Right. So you got to spend the money on the right parts so your vehicle still functions the way it needs to.
I was saying, and all of that is here now. That like the taillights in the JL have sensors in them. I don't think the mirrors do. I haven't run because the doors still come off. Yep. But I know that the taillights do. We deal with it mostly in like the Toyota and the Overland crowd with all the parking sensors and things fitting into bumpers. It's not as bad as it used to be, or as bad as it could be, or as bad as some of the other segments have it. But putting a winch on a Bronco, you're either blocking your radar or you have to relocate it. Now it looks ridiculous. And, I've had that conversation with people who want the aesthetic, and they're like, well, why can't we inset the winch? And I was like, well, you have all of this emissions control stuff. You have a turbocharger intercooler. You have, your ADAS radar. Like, I can't just delete all of that because you want the winch buried somewhere.
You were talking about that with the Grenadier.
So, the Grenadier is. That's not even driver assistance stuff.
I was going to say, I thought the Grenadier was actually designed to be heavily modified.
So if you wire a winch to the factory winch ready wiring, per the owner's manual, you have to be park parking brake on, foot on the brake to energize your winch. So you can never winch yourself.
Okay.
Our point, though, to Paul,
Matt's like, it's a.
That's like, all right,
Okay,
let's
yeah,
see what the
like-
point. What's the
Yeah.
problem with that?
I don't understand why you guys are getting so upset, so we're just going to shift over here.
well, but these are common things that are happening to vehicles that people are doing to their vehicles that they don't think about. We're trying to get lawmakers and regulators to understand that, you know, these are not like crazy things. You're not putting
Right.
a side mountain cannon on your vehicle.
Right.
Wait, I'm
you know,
not.
not yet.
That actually came up in a focus group. You know, so if somebody goes and puts a machine gun mount on the hood, and we're like, who the hell does
Wait,
that?
we're allowed to do that?
Yes, tell me more.
Did you guys forget we're the Americans here?
Yeah.
I know suppressors are getting it easier to get,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
automatic.
I was like, do we have a member that makes a machine gun mount for a hood? Like,
Tom,
Believe me, there's a
for a
market.
roll,
I'm sure
we
there's
can
something.
make one for a roll bar, probably not for a hood.
Yeah.
The sheet metal's a little thin.
And,
Yeah.
and it would be for off-road use only.
yes.
Correct.
Yes.
But our challenge really with ADAS is to take it and make it like very understandable for, you know, for just basic people to understand like why this matters to their car and why they should be paying attention. Because it's like, we have a story about someone who put a bike rack on the back of their car, and they had the entire, you imagine what this is like. You get the entire car packed up for your vacation, you load the kids in, you put the bikes on the bike rack, you're about to head south, you want to get out the door before traffic hits.
Can't put it in reverse.
And you can't put it in reverse and back it out.
Wasn't that the thing with the JL? If you were in 4 low, parked next to a tree, you couldn't put it in reverse because the backup sensors.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't
It was
so that
something
you
like
couldn't
that.
put it in reverse. I think it auto parked a lot of things, and like the Broncos do it with the doors off. You have to acknowledge that your door is off, or else it doesn't let you put it in drive. And I'm like, if Chrysler could figure this out, why couldn't Ford?
Yeah.
But like it's like it should be. I'm not against it, but it needs to also be able to function correctly. I think the JLs, like the 18 JLs, had a lot of those issues. Like we ran into it with the TPMS sensor in the spare tire interfering with the parking sensors.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys are highly paid engineers. We're mechanics, and we've figured that like how did we miss this?
Right.
But if the law is that like these things need to stay functional at all times, it's going to totally like mess up like a lot of people's just regular activities. There needs to be the ability to disable it.
To put a bike rack on the back of your car shouldn't make the car freak out.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, even, sorry.
I would say the big complaint we get with the JL crowd is all the stuff turns off when you're in 4 low, right? And in the Grenadiers are the same way. Off-road mode shuts all the stuff off, and it's great, but you're limited to 15 miles an hour, then it automatically turns it all back on. Like there needs to be, you know, they did it with the
Mojave.
The Hellcat, right? It had the red key, right? You had your track key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, obviously there's always going to be people who are going to use it on the roads and whatnot, but you know, that's I don't want to say a choice, but there's also
it's just like the, you know, how the emissions management is, you know, that whatever that thing is, that auto thing when you
auto
get
stop
the
start.
auto stop, you know, so like that was a way to meet emissions standards, in which that's now probably going to be going away. But even like the racing application, you think about it, you know, street legal car that you take to the track for weekend racing. If you're on an oval or a road course, whichever, it doesn't matter. Automatic emergency braking doesn't work in that situation, in the sense that someone's going to cut in front of you. So what, are you just going to come to a dead stop? Like,
which actually would probably cause a crash,
which
versus
will cause
avoiding
a
it.
crash, right?
Lock
And
the tires up and
like the
spin off
OEs
into
are
the
I
actually.
think Corvette was fighting with that.
Yeah.
Weren't
the
they?
OEs are actually are suing right now the federal government because that rule, the automatic emergency braking mandatoriness of it, is set to come into play at model year 29.
Okay.
And so, you know, we weighed in on that issue. Obviously, the OEs weighed in on the issue on the rulemaking and saying like, this is not workable, like because we wanted a disable function.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the OEs also had that and many other issues. Ours was pretty simple, but they didn't take anybody's comments. And so they just went and did it, and it has to be done at like what 45 miles an hour and da da da. It's like, okay, so what does that do to a track day?
Yeah.
Like, we tried to outline for you ways people use their vehicles. And again, it may not be your daily driver. Maybe one day it will be just it'll be your used car. You buy a used one, but you want to do it to race. And here you are in a situation we're trying to promote safe racing spaces as well, so that you don't have people doing stupid stuff on the roads, and you're cutting that off.
Yep.
So, and that's the other argument we make with lawmakers, saying we don't want consumers are going to do whatever the hell they want to do at the end of the day, especially American consumers.
They'll find a way around it. Yeah.
They will find a way around it, or they do a thing called they'll just start snipping wires.
Yeah.
No,
And,
never.
Ellis swap
We
it,
have
it'll be
never
fine.
modified any emission system ever.
Right. Like
Never.
it,
Nobody's
it's,
ever done that.
And so it's just like, so we can either get it, now that we're in the front end of this policy making, why don't we address it now so that we don't do that? And, versus we're opening up the door to a lot of problems, as well as obviously a negative impact to our industry.
Yeah, if you make the system user friendly, people will use it, whether it's for good or bad or whatever. If I can turn it off when I want to turn it off, then more than likely I'm going to leave it on when I don't need to turn it off. But if you make it impossible to turn off, I'm going to delete it permanently.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's just
I will rip the beeping thing out of here.
Like, somebody somewhere will hack the computer. And frankly, most car people don't care about your warranty. Right. So be it. If I don't have to listen to it beep at me and I void the warranty, fine. I'll figure out a way to fix it later.
Yep.
Is that he get rid of the Ford ding? Is just cut the wires?
I mean, that's what I used to do.
Booting, booting. The door.
There's a
chime.
thing in the mechanic world that the door chime for Ford is the most
worst. It's
annoying
the worst.
noise in the world.
I've heard that before.
And I joke because I had to listen to it constantly working on Fords as a fleet mechanic. Like they're just always broken. So you just hear ding, ding, ding the whole time you're working on it. And the first thing you do on a truck is you just unplug the speaker. But now it's all built into the computer and you can't just unplug it.
So you mentioned protecting racing. Protecting racing tracks. You commented on one of Cletus's posts. Did you ever get in contact with Cletus about protecting his track?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He could be a very powerful voice for us. In the sense that, one of our big state focuses for next year is going to be helping tracks fend off some of these nuisance complaints.
Because I know that's one of his big things at his tracks is they're building neighborhoods around his racetracks.
Yep.
And he should be grandfathered in on that. He went through the correct process to build that track. He got permits and everything. He bought that land. He owns that land. We hope that we can find people that are in similar boats as him, who have very prominent online audiences, who are influential in the racing community, who can be a voice in their state and say, let's bring this to lawmakers and make this happen. We've already had success in Iowa, and we're looking at other states. We're looking at Florida as being one of them. I think Georgia we're looking at, Michigan. I think North Carolina is a place where we'd like to be in. These are places where, there's very vibrant racing communities, and the voices of those people that can speak to the community that grows up around a racetrack and why it's important and valuable to, the overall environment is those are powerful.
Yeah, because I think Englishtown was under attack, weren't they?
It's funny. I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah.
So I grew up 2 miles from Englishtown Raceway Park, and they've gone through a big swing recently because they shut down the drag strip because they were under a lot of pressure, but they kept their road course, which wasn't really being used much, and their motocross tracks. And now with drifting kind of coming up, the family that owns it, their son is a drifter, and they turned the drag strip into a drift track, and they have done huge drifting events in the last year. And I haven't talked to anybody locally, like if they're still under pressure and having issues. But I know they just did a big filming with Sun Kang. They're doing a whole drift movie, and they filmed a big chunk of it at Englishtown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should reach out because my dad's company, actually, there's ironically the company sold, but the old logo is still on the tower. And Tony Angelo was doing a thing for his YouTube channel on the drag strip on the drift course, and in the background is my dad's old company banner on the tower behind the start line. And I took a picture and I was like, "Hey, you're still up on the tower there, Dad."
That's nice.
But yeah, it's I would imagine he still is in contact with one of the Knapp family.
But we have a real strong vested interest in making sure that motorsports stays strong in this country. Motorsports is a $69 billion annual economic impact.
Yeah.
And that's not the tourism stuff. That's not like an individual race
It's
that
just
brings
the
in
industry.
all the people.
Right.
Yeah. So we know that that's where a lot of people have their entryway into cars. And so it's a great, vibrant community. It's positive for the surrounding community. I keep saying community a lot. But the reality is, like, you know, having a track is a good thing. And we want people to understand that. And we want to broaden awareness that what a track provides.
Yep.
So, you know, when we can make inroads with lawmakers to understand that, whether it's bringing them out to tracks and having them understand what kind of vibrant community that is. And then, you know, we want those tracks to be economically sustainable so that, like, the first time a developer walks up to them with a bag of money and says, like, hey, we'd love to put some warehouses here, they don't feel pressure to have to, like, jump in and grab that bag.
And keeping a safe and accessible place to recreate keeps it off the streets.
Right.
Correct.
Is that's the huge thing is street. I don't think you'll do anything to curb street takeovers. But if there was a track that hosted a drifting event,
Right.
maybe these kids would take their Hellcats and go drifting for the weekend, opposed to burning down the street corner. Like,
so like my perspective on that stuff has always been, those aren't the people that would use a track day anyway.
Right. Yeah.
But if you get them to a track day and you go, this is what you could be doing.
Like if you show those guys tandem drifting, they're like, what the fuck? This is the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Right.
And you put them in a car and they start doing it, they'll get off the street and they'll start doing these organized events.
Yeah.
So one of the other big issues that we've got this fall is the motorsports tax incentive, which is something that's going to expire at the end of the year. It's something that the small tracks, the local guys really rely on to have some economic certainty so that they can make investments in a track that makes it family friendly. So, you know, improving grandstands, improving the surface of the track, and making sure that it has nice bathrooms. I mean, those are things that matter when you're like, oh, let's go out to the track and have a good weekend. And then you're like, was that fun? Did you enjoy yourself? And it's like, well, the bathrooms are pretty gross. Like, like one of those things, like, it makes a difference as whether or not you come back or not.
What do you have to do to make it so your wife's comfortable?
Exactly.
If you can get your wife to the event and make her comfortable, it'll prosper, because then she'll bring the kids, and it'll be a whole family event because there's clean bathrooms, there's nice grandstands, there's concessions, there's all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, it's such a. I don't think people, the average person, the non-car or racing person, I don't think realizes how family friendly racing is. You know, I was up in Norwalk, Ohio at Summit's NHRA Grand National race. It's my first Top Fuel race, which
it's crazy.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it's wild.
My liver is still in my shoulder somewhere.
Oh,
my whole body got rearranged. It was an incredible event. But you look at, number one, the team up there is like top notch. That runs the whole event. Bill Bader's on our board, and they just do a fantastic job. But just the families and, you know, people that were traveling, you know, 3, 4, or 5 hours, like, this is their vacation weekend to attend this event. And it's just, you just see the whole interaction, and it's everybody from, like, there were some babies there, you know, headphones on, all the way up to 80-year-old, I'm sure 80-plus-year-old, you know, folks, you know, granddad, dad, son, daughter,
3-4 generations.
So I don't think people realize how family friendly racing is, and how family centric it is. And then everything that supports it, you know, around the supporting events, you know, they do fireworks, you know, they have a concert series at a different time, you know, a couple weeks later. And it's just sort of like, that's the kind of story we have to tell more of. And again, when you work together, it's, you know, we're able to do that. Well,
and that's how we protect motorsports, is to get the families involved and pass it down to the next generation.
Exactly.
That's one thing that I'm slowly working. I sent you the picture of the day.
Yeah.
I told Matt I went on vacation with my nephew, 2 years old, loves monster trucks.
Yep.
My 4-month-old was sitting there watching him play with monster trucks, these scale models. And now I bought her some, and that's her favorite toy, is to watch me play with monster trucks. And I'm like, that's just what we got to do, is pass it down to the next generation and keep going. NHRA is great for that, but also NASCAR. So you said you went to your first NASCAR event. Yeah. Was that eye-opening to see how family friendly? There's camping in the outfield, there's like, it's wild.
No, I think I I had that expectation just because of reputational. But I think I brought my wife because like she was like, well, what else are we gonna do on a Friday night?
Go to a NASCAR race, sit in the pits.
But I don't think she was. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think she knew how big this was going to be, and I don't think she understood how exciting it was going to be because she was just like, well, this really isn't my thing, and they're just gonna drive in circles or whatever. But like by the end, so.
The vibrations are up my leg.
We're sitting in Frankie Muniz's pit, right? Yeah. We're above his race team, and like we're looking at all his like the schematics and everything, and they know we see all of them.
Probably he's not a car guy because the schematics.
Yeah.
No, not okay. What's
telemetry?
Telemetry
would be the engineering term. Yeah, telemetry.
Well, but it was like this was more
education right there.
This was more like the data. This is like how fast laps were and where they were.
Telemetry.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
The lateral G forces and acceleration and deceleration.
Exactly. So, we're there as a guest, and then Frankie blows out his motor, and the race ends very quickly for him, and his team picked up, and they just started packing up, and we're just like, we should probably go. This is kind of awkward. Us just sitting here.
You guys need some help.
Yeah.
And I think there was like 40 laps left, and like so I was just like, we can just go to the car and get going if you want. She goes, no, I want to see the end of the race. And I was just like, for real, that's cool. Like, and it just becomes one of those things where I don't think she would have ever said, yeah, let's go to a race. But when she got there, she had a good time.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to be able to kind of have that really positive environment and that positive experience to be able to say, this is fun. This is cool. This is something I'd bring our kids to, and I think you're right. Like, that idea of like, what's family friendly and, what's there. I mean, I think the next step is getting her out to like race a car. She is always talking about how she loves stick shifts, and like she always wanted her Jetta's always had the manual shift, and when we couldn't get one, we moved out here, we got our Jetta, and it was just like it was kind of sad for her because she was just like, wait, I was like, well, first off, you don't want it in this traffic in this area.
No,
but that said, like that's the kind of thing. So it's like, now I want to get a sim rig that has a stick shift. So like we
just
can
get a Miata. It'll be cheaper.
I was going to say you can borrow my husband's Miata sports car.
Yeah,
it's a stick shift.
Summit Point's 45 minutes away.
Yeah, well, that's my point. Yeah. And I think
so. I think we have a growing group. Actually, I think Mike and I are like assembling a growing group of like track day people to come. Come join us.
My mother-in-law has a Miata dying in her yard. It's still there. The Miata is still there.
I thought she was getting rid of the Miata when we commandeered the Suburban.
No, the Miata is still there. They won't let it go. I'm like, give me the Miata.
Go.
It's the battery died 10 years ago, and they just parked it. And now it's got rats and shit living.
Oh man, that's like.
But I'm like,
car.
Give me the Miata.
Yeah,
give me the Miata.
We can find an LS and we can make an LS.
No, I want it to go. I want a slow, I want a slow, fast Miata. It's the most fun you can have.
What happened to you?
The most fun you can have is going fast in a slow car.
This started before the baby.
Okay.
The Cherokee's been his kid's what, 7 months old now?
No, 4.
No,
yes.
4 months old. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 4 months.
Like how Matt knows me better than you do. What the hell? I text Matt like once a month.
Listen, I know she was born in April, and it's basically December now. So
got it. Sold.
Might as well.
No, but the kid's 4 months old. The Cherokee hasn't run in 3 years.
Correct.
You've stopped rock crawling. Yo, I'm gonna get into overlanding.
Listen, you just got your Jeep running.
Not true.
No,
not
you
true.
just got your Jeep back on the trail a month and a half ago.
That's not true.
Yes, it's absolutely true.
No, it's not.
Subaru's looking pretty good right now, isn't it?
Well, so it's a Jeep thing. You wouldn't understand that.
So before Great American Crawl, when was the last time you had your Jeep rock
March.
crawling? When did you go March?
When we ran 24 hours and I blew it up.
No, it's not rock crawling. Rock crawling.
Canyon Loop has a couple good obstacles.
No. When was the last time you had your
Canyon
Jeep
Loop,
rock
I
crawl?
just did. Are you talking about Canadian Loop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is there an
There's
obstacle?
Yeah. We saw a freaking
There's ruts.
Tahoe do it.
No.
Trailblazer.
Canyon Rim Road has there's that little bit of a rock.
Okay,
rock
I was not
ledge.
on. I was
There's
not
two.
on the
Yeah,
road.
there's
Okay.
two
Listen.
rock ledges. Everything else is a gravel road. I'll give you that.
Okay. Sorry.
That's not rock crawling. That is a rally event.
Okay. So it went to Great American.
Before that, when was the last
Moab.
time you? Okay.
It drove. You rode with me.
That's
for the
fair.
entire week
That's
in
fair.
Moab.
I'll take it.
And the Jeep has run every day since then. It's just always had. It's not always. It sometimes has had a broken axle, so it was front wheel drive only.
It's always had a. Every time you take it out, it's got a broken
I've
axle.
rebuilt the axle 4 times since Moab.
Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's not the point. That's not the point here.
Buy a Jeep,
Is
Matt.
yours hasn't left your yard in 3 years.
That's fair. It's a very
I've
good
had
point.
3 Jeeps since the last time that thing has run.
Plan a trip for November, December, and we'll go out.
I think we're going to try and go to the Cove here in like October at some point. I'm also going to 4Fest at the end of September.
Fair. October's fucked for me, but let's try for November.
Oh, yeah, because that's way more time after we spend an entire week in Vegas.
That's fair.
And then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, and then it's next year.
Where's the Cove, by the way? Because you mentioned
Winchester.
that.
Winchester, yeah.
It's west of Winchester.
Yeah, we promised you guys an off-road day, and we have not done
We can
that yet.
still
Yeah,
do
No,
we
but
that.
that's
do
like
that.
that's our fault because we just got too busy.
Oh,
with
yeah.
stuff.
Well, same thing for us.
Yeah,
but-
we're not really any better. It's funny. Somebody said to us, came to the shop, and it was a customer that we hadn't seen in a couple of years. And they're like, "Oh wow, you guys are still as busy as ever." And I'm like, "This is the least amount of cars we've had in 5 years. Like this is the slowest we've ever been, and we're still a 2-week wait."
It's great.
It is. It's because we're not slow, but it's for the first time ever. Like if one of the guys finishes a job, there's not just another job sitting in the lot waiting to be done. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. We're actually finishing work, and like we can start doing fun things again instead of just working all the time.
Okay. I was gonna bring my Jeep back, and you can do all my new lighting.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll do your wiring. You don't have to bring it back. Just park at my house for a weekend.
Yeah,
I love wiring.
yeah,
Been a while since I've done it. Maybe your Jeep may catch on fire if I do it, but
yeah. That's a good sell. That's a good sell. Thanks,
All
Dan.
right.
We'll have
I
people-
appreciate the warning. I may go.
I'll handle the
we'll have
wiring.
PJ. PJ will do it.
PJ's a little tied up. We're still working on Sean's YJ.
Okay. Damn.
We're learning that when you put axles in things that they don't belong in, it gets a little bit complicated sometimes.
So back to racing.
Yeah.
Speaking of racing, the event of the year. Do you know what the event of the year is? Family event of the year. The Wienermobile race.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys make it out
Like
to
the
that?
Oscar
No.
Mayer Wienermobile?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
That
We-
had to be the most family friendly event in racing that's
I
ever
feel like
happened.
some of the PRI people.
Yeah, I know. I texted.
You sure this wasn't AI? Because you're the only
No,
one
it's
that knows
real.
about it.
AJ. I texted AJ. She was there,
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
and I think Mike
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
was there.
It happened at Indianapolis Speedway.
Yeah, it was the week of Indy.
Oh, is this when they paraded all the Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles
Yeah, it was
around
the race, but
No,
it wasn't
they
really
raced.
a
That was
race.
hardcore. They actually went at it.
Oh, did they really?
yeah.
I think I saw a couple clips of it. I thought it was just like a parade thing.
They're limit. I think their speed is limited to like 65 miles an hour.
I feel like that's pretty fast for a hot dog.
Yeah, that's pretty fast for a
Absolutely.
That's the name of the
It's a
episode.
65
Things
mile an
are
hour hot
shaking.
dog.
The name
That's
of
a
the episode
serious
is that's
glizzy.
pretty fast for a hot dog with SEMA.
Well, because I'm like equating it to one of the F1 races had the drivers come out on Lego builds.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
F1
Oh
was
yeah,
cool.
I watched. I think I watched that
And I'm
one.
like-
I think that was the same weekend as the Wienermobile race because that was a double. It was a quadruple header. We had NASCAR, we had Wienermobile, and we had F1
I feel like there was an IndyCar race.
and
in there,
IndyCar
too.
and
Yeah.
IndyCar
Yeah, that would have been
quadruple header.
that.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, that would have
Was that
been
Memorial Day
500
weekend?
That would have been Memorial Day weekend.
yeah. So that was a quadruple header.
and
I was sitting in the hospital watching all the
Watching
racing
the
on
Wienermobile.
TV.
That's right.
But like it was like the Lego F1 vehicles. Like I don't even know if they were going 10 miles an hour. And I was like, how painful is this for these
Oh,
drivers who are used to driving? You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and they have to go the entire track with these freaking Lego.
Did you see them at the golf course when they were all in carts and then
Yeah.
they started racing the carts and
carts.
cutting corners and showing like, oh, I'm still the best driver even if
Yeah.
I'm in a golf cart?
Oh,
Oh, that's
that was
wonderful.
have
like
not seen
what
that one.
last weekend I think.
Yeah,
It was
it's
ulti-
funny because I do the same thing in a golf cart with my friends.
That's the
Yeah.
ultimate spec racing is golf carts.
I'm just not worth bazillions of dollars
To
and
wreck a
like
couple-
seeing,
yeah.
seeing.
I'm also not playing at fancy golf courses with fancy golf carts.
right.
So,
right.
but yeah, it's
Yeah, I took a golf cart at a golf course overlanding.
yeah,
Nice.
been there, done that.
Doesn't work.
No, I high centered a golf cart once. That was real awkward
Yeah,
because you're like trying to rock it back and forth.
yeah. I almost
They have no
I
grip.
almost tumbled it.
Oh.
And, yeah, I was at one of those fancy schmancy private ones that I got invited to. I haven't been invited back.
Weird. Surprise, surprise.
I was like, I didn't think anybody saw me. I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
That's the new growth industry though for the aftermarket.
Yeah,
It's like
golf
the high-end
carts.
golf
Oh
carts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they started. So we were talking about the Outer Banks. There's golf cart rental companies in the Outer Banks
yeah.
where you can rent a modified golf cart opposed to just a regular one
Yeah.
to bebop around.
Yeah, Delaware has that
Yeah.
as well. There's it's sort of like I forget the name of the vehicle. It was on the Ford dealership lot up in Rehoboth, but it's not Scout, but the vehicles look kind of like the golf carts look kind of like a Scout, but it's a
Okay.
golf
Is it a
cart.
Roxor?
I cannot
because
remember
they
the name
did.
of it.
They're
what
not
if-
really golf carts, so they're like UTVs.
Yeah, but like
Like-
here's the thing, like there are these entire communities, like Leesburg's that way actually. There's like a downtown district in Leesburg where golf carts are street legal. You can put a golf cart on the
I didn't
street.
realize that.
But if you go down to like Myrtle Beach or whatever, all those golf communities, everyone just
Yeah.
drives around golf carts.
Key West is the same way.
So I was talking to one of our researchers today, just because she was giving me a preview on our this power sports market research study that we're doing, and she was explaining the UTV stuff and whatever, and I was just like, and it's like, you said golf carts back then. Did you look into golf carts? She's like, no, and I was just like, because I think that's like a really big crazy area, because you start seeing like some of these communities, like their entire high school parking lots are filled with golf carts now, and in order to get them street legal, you got to buy a new windshield, you got to buy street legal tires, you got to buy like seat belts and
Functioning brake lights.
lighting for brake
Yep.
lighting, that sort of thing. I mean, that's on another level, but no one's really talking about like the safety element of it. There just isn't good data on like golf carts in accidents. So it's like one of those things where, there's a lot
They're
to
all
consider.
they're speed controlled.
How involved is SEMA in power sports? Because you mentioned power sports. Do you guys get involved with the ATV, UTV advocacy or
I think that's part of the Orba thing.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that's one of the big reasons with the Orba acquisition, and then the fact is that we've always been part of.
yeah?
If you go to West Hall and SEMA show, you're going to see actually not just West Hall, you see it in North Hall too, in the audio sections and all that kind of stuff. So we have a big presence of that community. Yamaha has been an exhibitor. I think Kawasaki was there last year as well. And again, it's still like an evolving.
Yeah, it's always been like
space.
ancillary. It's always been like
right.
kind of over there,
Yeah,
or just scattered throughout.
but it's again, all of this industry is really kind of converging because I mean, look, you can sit there and get some of these UTVs. Like I rode in one in King of the Hammers. I mean, those things are insane. The suspension on them is freaking insane.
Yeah, what I mean, heavily modified UTV won King of the Hammers,
right? And but the thing is, like those things are like off the shelf are like $35,000-$45,000.
They're as expensive as cars.
They're as
Yeah.
expensive as a car. And so anyway, so the worlds are kind of converging, both from just from the industry standpoint, but then also from the advocacy side, as we've talked about.
But I think in your world, I think they just became legal in West Virginia for use on non-highways.
Yeah, that was a few years. It was funny because I actually worked on that legislation before I was even with SEMA. Because
okay.
in my fun time, let me go do other let me go pass legislation.
And Backroads just helped get them
In Kentucky.
Yeah, street legal.
Yeah,
and
we
platable.
made that push for the off-road when we did our Devil's Due event.
Yeah.
I posted in the local UTV and side-by-side groups of like, hey, if you have a street legal one, bring it out and be a part of our community.
Nice. That's awesome.
And what we're finding is people want more comforts of those in those vehicles, that they want their regular vehicle comforts to be translated to those UTVs.
What was the one we saw at Overland Expo last year? It literally had heated seats, cooled seats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
AC cab.
AC, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
a Honda, wasn't it?
Yamaha. I think it was a stock Yamaha.
Yeah.
And, like,
Wild.
they were calling it their Overland model. It had like a bed rack for a rooftop tent, and I'm like, just buy a Tacoma at that point.
right.
But they're getting bigger too, so they're practically like cars. Like I think like there's one model right now. I think it's a Honda model. It's 13 inches shorter than the smallest Jeep.
Some of the
It's not.
Yeah.
That's not much.
Yeah.
I
Some
mean,
of
it's right there.
some of the like the Razor, a 4-seater
It's
Razor,
longer than
Yeah.
a Cherokee.
it has a longer wheelbase than an XJ,
Yeah.
and like you can buy an XJ for $1,000.
Yeah.
Like, and probably I would argue I have as much fun with it as you could with a Razor.
I don't know.
No, you wouldn't go as fast, but you could have, if you did 30 miles an hour in a Cherokee, you're having as much fun as you are doing 100 miles an hour in a Razor.
We did 30 miles an hour in Cherokee, and I ripped the shocks out of it.
My point exactly. Fun.
That was great. It was a really good
It
time.
was a good time.
What else,
Yeah.
guys? What else we got?
What did we miss?
I don't know.
I don't know. What have you
I
missed?
don't know.
Well, so what?
I didn't even remember what I did last week. So
You were in Paraguay last week.
Yeah, I know.
Paraguay, that's right. Back to Paraguay.
I recall.
Paraguay back to DC.
So, are you guys going to make it out to Easter Jeep Safari next year?
Ooh.
I So your coverage of your social media, I showed to my wife, and she goes, "That actually looks like a really fun time.
Mm-hmm.
We could fly out, rent a Jeep, and bring the baby."
Boo.
If
You know
that's
what?
if
We're
that's
not gonna,
how,
no, we're not going to shun. We're not going to shun.
if
We
that's
get
how
him
I
to
can get my wife and
EJS,
baby
yeah.
out there for EJS,
You want to just ride with me in my Jeep?
how about you drive your Jeep out?
And they'll
I'll
still
fly out with the
fly.
wife and baby.
That's what I was
highly
booing the
recommend
renting a
that
Jeep
method,
thing,
yeah.
not the flying out
Yeah.
part.
Oh, okay.
I was just booing the rental part.
Yeah, no,
Don't rent a Jeep.
I'm
Don't be that guy.
I think
No, okay, I'm gonna tell a story from this week or this week. Oh my god, this year I'm clearly sleep deprived. I was on one of the rides, and there was a couple from New Zealand with us, and because I was like,
well,
who's this?
they can't drive to
No, I
Moab.
know, but here's the thing. Like, so he was driving, so I actually ended up behind him, and I'm like, who the hell showed up in a stock Jeep? This is before I knew the backstory, but I'm like, all right. But
these fucking idiots.
Oh yeah, and like I think it may have had 35s on it at least, so I don't think it was
Yeah,
fully stocked.
most
but
of the
I think
rentals
it
are
had
35s.
35s, and which is what I have on mine. And so, but I'm looking, and the guy like was driving phenomenally. Like I was like, okay, all right. And then one of our stops sat there, chatted, found out, oh yeah, literally came from New Zealand to do Easter Jeep Safari. This was a bucket list item for them and whatnot. So I'm not going to shun the rentals because here's this opportunity and again, if you're a good enough driver, it'll be fine.
When we were out there, we were on Moab Rim.
No,
What?
Poison Spire Gold Bar Rim.
Gold Bar Rim, and there was a rental Jeep in front of us. The guy was driving the hell out of that Jeep. So good.
Yeah.
It was his first time ever out there. Same thing. We stopped,
Yep.
overlooked Moab
Yep.
from the top. He was a drag race. Like he drag races for fun.
Oh, okay.
He decided last minute to fly out with his wife and his kids to Moab, rented a Jeep, and wheeled the absolute shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is on the list. The wife knows about it. We've talked about it multiple times. We would like to. If it's not for EJS, we will still try and get out there in the spring.
Yeah, at some point. But yeah, it's just such
But
a
yeah,
great time.
thank you to you, because I was like, look, Karen's having fun. Karen's having a good time.
Who is this Karen person you speak of?
Why she have so much fun?
It has become a lot easier to convince the wife to do them, like, because our off-road weekends when we all had shitbox Jeeps that were literally falling apart were like just basically, my wife would say it all the time. She's like, I don't even really like hanging out with your friends at home. Why would I go and hang out with them
Your
at the
wife
woods?
loves us.
This is in the early days. This is the
She didn't
early
like
days.
us, Carrie.
She likes you now. She
That's
likes
good.
you now. No,
She
but
better.
But like she's starting to come around to like, oh, okay, like I get what's happening. Like it's not just a drunken weekend in the woods camping with your friends. Like there's other stuff going on. And like I was trying to convince her to come to Sema when I thought I was going to be the only one going.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "You want to go to Vegas for a week?"
No, luckily
Shop's paying for it.
Luckily, we had a good weekend away from home where I left for a single night, and the wife's like, "Yeah, this went well. You're good to go for 4 nights to Sema." And I'm like, "Yeah."
For me, Hammers is a higher priority for 26 than Easter Jeep Safari, but that's just selfish reasons.
Yeah, I mean, King.
If I'd like to do both.
Hammers is amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. I don't know if I'll make it out this year, but
Any excuse to go to Moab is
I think
worthwhile in my mind.
I think instead of Hammers, I think there's the SEMA Media Conference in California.
yeah, it'll be in Anaheim this.
I think I'm going to try.
I thought it was
and go
Orlando.
To that.
It was Orlando
last
this year.
Yeah,
They're going to
Now
start
it's going-
going back and
Yeah,
forth.
they're going to do back and forth.
All right.
because you attract different crowds. Your
Attract
West
different crowds,
Coast
but
people
we
go
do
to the
need
West
your
Coast.
help to for the Orlando, just like to help. There's obviously not the same familiarity in the East Coast as much as obviously the West where it's always been. So we'll need your help to help drive participation because I think this was the first year on the East Coast, and I think
I
was late to it because if I would have known it was going on, I would have been interested in going because it was on the East Coast.
Right, it's so much easier.
With it being, I've never been to California. Not that I really want to go to California, but I think that could be a good opportunity to do motorsport stuff in the motorsport state.
Yeah.
For the SEMA Media.
Yeah. No, it's a good. Oh, you've been.
It was a super valuable experience. A lot of the
Is that
yeah. So I mean, from our perspective, in terms of having that first opportunity to really engage with content creators in a way that had never been done before by our office, and she when she hired me said, "Have you thought about how we engage with content creators. I was like, I'd love to. I am terrified. And it's because it's like, where do you start? It's such a big like ocean. It's like trying to boil the ocean is just impossible. But it's like, this gave a really great environment because it's largely speed dating. It's 30-minute meetings back to back to back. And, you know, you come in and I've got like a suite with like some other SEMA people, and we introduce ourselves and tell you about what we work on with SEMA, and then you tell us about your you know, your audience and the kind of stuff that you like covering. And then someone walks around at the 30-minute mark and rings a bell, and you say, okay, cool, here's my card, thanks a lot, and you move to the next meeting, and I got someone else coming in, and you do this for 4 days, and it's like by the end you've like given your pitch so many
exhausted
times.
already.
My voice is shot. It was just like, oh, I can't do this
You can
anymore.
go to that one by yourself.
Yeah. But like,
It actually sounds fun though. Like,
and then there's like there's other networking events where you're able to meet, but it's like, it's such a content creator heavy crowd now. It's less traditional media, but it's super valuable because SEMA is just one of these like suites that you're meeting with. There's also SEMA members, and they're talking about their products and their parts and like, you know, what they work on.
then you collaborate and
Yep.
build the
and
relationships.
those are relationships that continue
Build a
throughout the year.
community.
Yeah, exactly. I like that word. So I mean, but like we established our content creator program on the back of that first meeting.
Yeah.
It was just super.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people from DC had gone to the Orlando.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was a couple, but you know, I think largely, yeah.
I heard about it.
12. Yeah,
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Jordan was there. Niles was there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, there were a number of folks though that we already had established relationships with,
Jordan
so
being
it
one of
was
them, but-
you know, because it was also helping make those connections with the content creators and MPMC. So it, you know, so because we had started, we formalized our person came in. Lauren started in January, but we hired her actually back in November.
Right.
And I was grabbing her off the campaign trail. Do you have a job yet afterwards? No. Perfect.
Yeah. You do now.
You do now. And, but yeah, so like, you know, like the relationship with Jordan and some of those other folks actually go back several months, if not a year before that.
But the feedback that we got too was like, this was our first opportunity to really just kind of tell them about what SEMA's doing and what we could be doing better. A lot of the feedback that came back was like, just be more present in the community. Like, stop, you know, by putting a face to things, SEMA stops being just about the show and this pie in the sky event that a lot of people can't go to or get credentialed for or whatever. So it gave us kind of this like opportunity to say, like, we're going to start going to car shows. We're going to start going to, that's where Rick Ross came from, to be honest, because one of the guys we met with was like, that'd be a great place to start. It's a part of the automotive community that you guys just typically aren't present in. So that's where we went. We met a lot of people there too. You know, and that's why, you know, we go to like, you know, elite tuners events and, you know, you being in Moab's really great, you know, just being in the trenches with people and not just like talking business all the time, but just being around them,
Like
and
hang out drinking a beer.
Yeah, like understanding like why this is important to them and how we can adequately reflect that in our advocacy, I think is like super important. It's a perspective that too many organizations in Washington, D.C. lose sight of. And we have a very privileged position to be able to dig into the community and really engage in that way.
Community. Constituency.
Community with fast hot dogs.
I wish we could take credit for those hot dogs. the original modified vehicle, though.
Is it? No.
No,
Back
back
The
way before.
Wienermobile is pretty early.
Yeah, but it's not that early. Come on, you don't know.
We're looking at Wienermobile now?
You don't know the history of NASCAR?
yeah,
Oh,
that
no,
was
I-
Prohibition.
That's the 20s, my man.
Sure.
That's so. I always go back. I've always said
It's when the Oscar Wienermobile, I can't even get it out. The Oscar Wienermobile was just a little weenie. Get it?
Hey!
Yay! Sorry.
it had to be like the 60s.
We're going to find out that the Wienermobile goes back to like 1890 and it was like one of the
No.
first things.
It was a horse-drawn buggy Wienermobile.
Well, then Budweiser would be competing with it because they had the Clydesdales in the wagon.
Yeah, Wells Fargo.
In Wells Fargo.
Yeah, built for speed.
But the
Wells
so-
Fargo, built for speed.
So the whole industry of prohibition was they started modifying their vehicles to outrun law enforcement. And I've always said, like, if I,
And that was right here in Virginia.
was I right about the 60s, 50s, 40s?
Really?
The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile goes back past World War II.
1936.
Boom!
Wow.
Told you it was old.
Wow, they invented the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile to fight Hitler.
That's how we show American exceptionalism.
You know what? That actually kind of makes sense though, because didn't we like
Take that
introduce?
bratwurst. We're calling it
Yeah, it's a hot dog now.
Now a wiener.
It's a
It's
glizzy.
like, take your wiener schnitzel. We put wheels on it. And we race it. Sorry.
I mean, but that's I know we introduced. Well, I know like because of World War II, Iceland got its first highways from the U.S. and the Icelandic hot dog basically was invented because the GIs stationed in Iceland just wanted American food. And the only thing they could come up with was basically like grinding up all the exotic meats in Iceland and making hot dogs.
Can't wait for your food podcast. I want to be a first guest on that.
4x Foodies. It's a thing.
It is a
I'd be all
thing.
about that. I
Really?
mean, I'm
Yeah.
I'm DC Jeep and food, so
No,
you
that's
know.
true. Yeah.
And I've
We need-
eaten their products in Iceland.
I-
Fermented shark meat. Could
Yeah.
not do that.
Yeah.
I
Seems a little extreme.
I mean, I ate it, but it just came right
I
back.
think
I was
shark's
gonna say,
delicious,
they-
actually. Shark steaks
Fermented.
Fermented.
oh,
shark.
fermented.
They
Rotten shark meat.
it's like they literally like it's like designed to make you throw up, isn't it? Like, or do people actually eat it?
No, they actually eat it. Like
Oh, I thought it was a bit.
No, no. It's like you.
People in
ordered
Iceland
it-
actually eat it.
I ordered it in a restaurant,
Oh,
and I was very, very upset about spending money on that because it's not cheap in Iceland.
I really thought it was like a bit that they like.
No. Mm-mm.
Wow.
No.
All right, I got it. My wife has a coworker who is from Iceland, and like it's on our bucket list to go. And I'm like, I'm trying to push it into an overlanding trip. Like, we don't need a hotel. We'll rent one
a
of the
vehicle.
vans. And her brother is going with a buddy and renting a van and just running the ring road like
Yeah.
next month.
I did that
So-
in winter in a Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
that's sweet.
I didn't make it all the way around.
Did you get the big floaty tires? Like they're big, like
No, no,
Ice
because
trucks.
we didn't go like off road because it was obviously winter. But yeah, I had a nice size Land Cruiser. It was a lot of fun.
yeah. I really want to. It's like
It's great.
my next travel is going to be Iceland. I don't really care about going anywhere else right now.
Southwest is starting to fly there.
Are they really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Well,
nice.
they've got a code share deal with Iceland,
with
there,
Iceland,
so
yeah.
you can actually do it.
It's actually really I got it on a group. I actually bought a trip on Groupon, and it was
wow.
And it was real.
it was
I bought,
real.
I bought
It was-
cheesesteaks on Groupon.
Yeah. No, it was real, and I did a winter trip because I actually wanted to go see the Northern Lights. I
Sure.
was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh hell yeah, and it was super cheap, and you can pretty much see like sort of the basics of Iceland, like the key things, like in 3 days, and then you can buy an extension, in which that's what I did, and
Okay.
went up to Vic and up into the northern spots and everything. Did like glacial hiking,
Bebopping around a Land Cruiser.
but did it, huh?
Is that bebopping around a Land Cruiser?
Yeah, in the Land Cruiser, and then but did it in winter, and it was gorgeous. It was
Yeah.
actually warmer in Iceland than it was here on the East Coast that
Go
same
figure.
week that I was there. It
Wow.
was one of our polar vortex weeks, I guess. Here,
No.
it's like, this is ridiculous.
At least up there, when they get a polar vortex, they just kind of go about their day. Unlike here, where it like
Shuts down.
everything
Yeah.
down for a week, and I'm like,
exactly.
can we just go back to living our lives? Like, it's not that cold.
Yeah.
It's cold, but it's not that cold.
Right.
Well, they also have heat, like, because they have geothermal heating, because
Right.
they're in,
The hot
on
springs,
a
yeah.
volcano,
Lava.
and so like all of the floors are heated.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Wonderful.
Like, and all
Yep.
your towel racks are heated,
Huh.
and
It's delightful.
it's so wonderful.
yeah. So listen, Virginia kind of
This is like-
sucks.
It's like
Yeah.
better than a butt fan.
Yeah, just like, how much does it cost to put this into my house? Oh, we actually have to pay for our electricity. Never mind.
Yeah.
You have to heat that water.
Yeah,
that,
you
that
have to
flows
heat
through
the
your
water.
floor. The car
Well,
was
my father-in-law does it at his shop in St. Louis, Virginia, which is Middleburg. He does it with a wood stove.
Oh yeah, you can do
Okay,
it with
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
But that
it's got
requires
radiant
somebody to-
water that goes to the
Right,
floor.
right.
It's with a wood stove.
Yeah.
The car museum I worked at in Colorado, the museum was the only building in the complex that was geothermal because it also controls humidity in the building, which was good for the cars. And in the summer, it was ironically the deserts of Colorado, right? So on the Utah border. In the summer, it'd be 110 degrees, super dry, but the museum was a steady 72, and it actually had humidity. So like everybody would come to the car museum because that was the only good weather in the area. And then in the winter, the exact opposite, where it's 0 degrees outside and it's 72 with you. And it's like going to the beach every day at work.
awesome.
It was great.
That's awesome.
And I was like, oh man, geothermal's the way to go. And then you find out that it's like, $50,000.
Next shop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good. Don't need it. Because it's also a nightmare to maintain it. Like I was fresh out of college, like having to learn what all the valves that did and controlling. So there's a whole room just of pipes and valves and things and craziness.
Next shop.
No, next shop will have air conditioning though. That I will do.
PJ will like that.
Yes. Everybody's gonna like it, but
What else? What else we got?
I don't think I have anything.
What are we doing? What does y'all's show look like? Are you guys running around the whole time? Or do you guys actually get to enjoy it?
It's evolving for us. I think
Yeah.
you've obviously got your responsibilities. Last year I was brand new and it was very big. And I think we were also still trying to figure out like a little bit of the content creator stuff. I think there'll be more of an opportunity to engage with people in that regard. Last year we were also on like fact finding missions. So like we were, spent a lot of time walking the floor trying to like learn who's in the ADAS space. We just didn't have a lot of visibility into that. So it's like if we stumbled upon someone that we thought was working in the safety products that stuff, bring them in. I think that's how we built a great deal of our connections and list that we ended up turning into that symposium that we had at the garage outside of Detroit this spring. But like, I think for us, it's largely going to be, connecting with people and figuring out what is next actually,
So it's a lot of networking.
Yeah.
It's a lot of working by networking.
Yeah.
And we have events. Tuesday night is our PAC event, and then Wednesday night is our state lawmaker event, and then Thursday night obviously is the banquet, awards event. So actually, like I don't breathe until after Thursday night's done, and then Friday is kind of a more chill day, and then I'll do like some final meetings, and then
SEMA Fest
and then go to SEMA Fest. So, but yeah, it's like it's really long. For me, it's really long days. I think for the team, it's also really long days.
It's a lot of walking.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking.
You get the new pair of shoes,
talking.
and then you throw those new pair of shoes out at the end of the week.
Yeah, I brought 4 pairs of shoes and I just rotated them.
Yeah.
It was like the biggest part of my checked baggage.
I remember
Shoes.
Shoes.
Oh my God, shoes.
my first SEMA was Trevor and I,
Yeah.
and like without even really thinking about it, my phone tracked mileage, and in 4 days we walked 35 miles.
Yeah, that's about right.
And I think by Thursday night we left the show, like we took the monorail back to the hotel and we ate dinner and we both were asleep by 8:30. I'm like, woke up the next morning, I was like, did we really go to bed before 9 in Las Vegas?
Well, that's how it was in
Because
PRI too. We did the same thing in
it's 3 hours
PRI.
later though too.
What's that?
Your body thinks it's 3 hours later.
Well, yeah, but we had been there for 4 days at that point.
Yeah, I guess.
We also did the same thing at PRI. We were in bed by 9:30 every night at PRI.
Yeah, but we didn't walk 35 miles.
We talked 35
We
miles.
did walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked for 35 miles, and it was 1 degree out with that wind chill.
Oh my God, yeah, that
PRI
was brutal.
brutal.
Yeah, I was crying. It was so cold. I had to walk back from a dinner one night. I was like, oh my God.
I remember the first morning getting coffee at the hotel. It was too hot to drink, and half a block later, I was like, "It's cold."
We also scheduled our first interview before the buses were running.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we walked about 3/4 of a mile and
The 4 block,
4 blocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
So SEMA show is a busy time, and we'll probably be wrapping content. Because again, we'll be heading right into the 2026 legislative cycle, and so between the nuisance law work that we're going to be doing at the state level, and then our right to modify. So it's going to be, we're still sketching a lot of stuff out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of probably travel coming up and opportunities to kind of be out in the community and engage and that sort of thing. The way that we've been successful at, I think. So
Yeah. I'm trying not to travel in October.
oof.
Good luck.
well, you just had something come off the books. So.
I know that kind of gave me my like, okay, how do I protect this? And I'm getting pressured to go to something, but I don't want to go.
Do you guys like have? I know, like there's all the social media posts and whatnot, but are you guys like? Is there a list somewhere or like stuff like? I know the SEMA Action Network email list, which I don't know if maybe they ended up in my spam, but I feel like they've slowed down a little.
for August. They have definitely like.
I wasn't sure if something changed.
No, just it was August recess.
Is that still like the best way for people to like
yeah
track what's going on in their area and whatnot? Is
the SEMA Action Network. I mean, I think through Instagram in particular.
Okay.
You know, we do have the summer months are always like, you know, some of the state issues, the state legislatures kind of close up shop. Congress goes out of session for August. Things will start picking back up, particularly in some of our areas. But like, you know, some of the other stuff that we're trying to do with the SEMA Action Network page is like really just kind of help, you know, sustain what we've built. And some of that's showing like, you know, the culture. That's why you see a video about like, you know, behind the scenes of like who we are. Again, putting faces to an organization that's like a very nebulous kind of thing. But, you know, at the same time, you know, we're people who want to be engaging with the enthusiasts just as much as they're engaging with SEMA. And so, you know, being seen as a resource, being seen as, you know, someone that's leading on the issues and on top of things. I mean, I think that's like, you know, this thing with Jackson Valley is like kind of Johnson Valley.
Yeah. Come on.
It came up. Well, but it came up.
Subaru guys.
Jackson Valley.
Jackson Valley. This is for the Subaru.
I was like, oh, did we miss something else?
Yeah, exactly. That's where we tell all the Subaru people to go to come to the King of the Hammers.
Go to
Jackson
Valley.
Valley.
Look it up.
It's just a little north.
Yeah.
Way north.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
It's in Seattle.
But we were able to like mobilize on that pretty
wait,
quickly.
it was back in Virginia, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sorry.
Stay here.
Sorry, we're just.
It's where the community is.
Look, let's just compromise.
Yeah.
Get yourself a 4Runner. Everything will be fine.
Yeah. The Toyota's the leveling, the leveling product.
Or be bougie and get a Lexus.
Yeah, I feel like to your point, the social media does seem to be one how most people get news these days.
Yeah.
I don't want to say guilty of it, but that's basically because it's only showing me the things that I really care about at the end of the day.
Right.
Like I know there's other stuff going on in the world, but the things that are important to me are what I like. So that's
You
the
would have known
algorithm.
about Jackson Valley if you'd gone beyond, you know, just
Probably, yeah. If I had a Subaru,
It's kind of like an indie band that no one's heard of, and I knew about them before everyone else.
There you go.
that's
Wait till Jackson Valley becomes a thing, and then you guys are
when
going,
we finally-
we should have known.
when we finally go viral and we have enough money to buy an off-road park, we're calling it Jackson Valley.
Jackson
Yes.
Valley Off-Road Park.
And you have a lifetime membership.
Jackson Valley Subaru.
only if you bring your Subaru.
Yeah. Plot twist, it's a parking lot.
With some
It's a
cones.
Subaru off-road
Plot
Some
twist,
cones.
it's outside the Dirt Nerd shop.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a small parking lot, but it's a parking lot nonetheless. No, it's definitely. And maybe that's why I just haven't noticed the emails, but like, I don't even remember. I forget what event I was at. It was I was probably still in school, or maybe it was a car show when I was working for the car museum. There was somebody at a table signing emails up for the SEMA Action Network newsletters, and like that was always what I used to get that news. And maybe because of Instagram, I'm just not noticing the emails come through as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I noticed my PRI emails. I feel like I get a ton of PRI emails.
Oh, interesting.
They do,
But they do a weekly newsletter.
Maybe that's why.
Member Monday.
Yeah.
and- Yeah, we've also, with our SEMA Action Network, we're also have been doing a lot of segmentation with our audiences so that people aren't getting emails for everything.
Right.
And so it's, you know, a little bit more
Yeah.
region specific. And of course, again, the EV mandate stuff was really heavy because it was
Sure.
such a big campaign.
Yeah.
But now, like, we don't, you know, if something's going on in Colorado, you probably don't care right now.
Yeah,
So,
I
you're not
remember
gonna-
being able to like pick what states I wanted
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
see, and I had Colorado. I'm from New Jersey, so I had New Jersey, and when I moved here, I remember selecting Virginia. Maybe I haven't selected Virginia. I don't know. I have to go back and look. It's been a while.
Yeah,
So are you guys going to push harder on the Jackson Valley information here in the next week or so?
Yeah.
As we get more information on it.
Yeah, we'll have something coming out. Like
Did
I
you
said,
do
it's
that on
kind of-
purpose?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. You were real confident with that. I was like,
You're taking over.
Yeah, no, I did that on purpose.
Actually, that's how we get around the rule. We rename it to Jackson Valley.
you guys can have Johnson
You guys
Valley.
can
That
have
doesn't even
Johnson
exist
Valley.
anymore.
This is Jackson Valley.
It's like the Gulf of America. It all
Right,
makes sense now.
exactly. Yeah.
Where's Trump? We need an executive order.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you guys
exactly.
want this one?
Andrew Jackson was a better
sorry.
president than Andrew Johnson. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Fair enough. Andrew Jackson.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yeah.
He was definitely a Jeep guy, so he'd be all about it.
I was like, wait, Jefferson?
Yeah, I
We are
heard
in
George
Virginia.
Washington had a Jeep.
Yeah, he actually invented it.
Probably.
Yeah. Bantam.
Yeah.
Or not Bantam. It was in Baltimore. Jeep was invented in Baltimore.
I mean, not quite invented.
That's where the Jeep was invented. It was mass produced in Bantam.
Well,
We'll do a history episode, Tom. I'll educate
I don't want to
you.
like split the hairs with you, but yeah, you're not wrong entirely.
This feels like a trivia episode, not a history
Yeah.
episode.
a little bit of both.
No, the Jeep was invented in Baltimore,
Start
and
to
then it was
start
mass produced in
questions.
Bantam
Okay.
by
by
So-
Bantam
but
and Ford.
so you've really gotta. That's what I'm saying. You're splitting hairs as far as what level of Jeep, because it was Willys Overland that created the concept for the military vehicle.
In Baltimore.
I understand that, but I mean, yes, it's a Jeep, but like it was much later.
How did we get here?
Yeah. Why are we arguing over
It's my fault.
Jackson.
Jackson?
Jackson Valley.
Jackson Valley.
Jackson Valley. You guys will be making a push for Jackson Valley in the next week or
Yes,
so.
we'll be releasing some information on that. I know
Yeah.
probably early next week, if not
Okay.
later today. Although we're at the end of the day today, but likely first thing next week.
It's Friday. It doesn't really count anyway.
Well, you
Nobody
can
really does
still
anything on
take
Fridays.
action and do the stuff with the Blue Ribbon Coalition and send in their letter and do all that
Yeah.
stuff. Are you guys also gonna have your own letter? Are you
Most
guys working
likely.
with the Blue Ribbon Coalition on that as well?
Yeah, we've been in communication with them. Our take will be probably a little different than theirs. But obviously Dave Cole, King of the Hammers, members of ours. So
Yep.
important guys to us. And so, but again, collaboration, cooperation,
Community.
right?
Yep.
Community, constituency, but so we'll be putting some finishing touches on our sort of perspective on it. And,
Yep.
yeah. So,
I like
Cool.
It's nice to have the infrastructure and the resources to pivot on that very quickly as
Yeah.
needed.
Well, from the EV stuff, we see that you guys are very good at like mobilizing and pivoting on
Yeah.
issues quickly.
Yeah, we have to.
yeah, and it's just like even like some of the things that taking up our time is even with all of the changes happening at EPA and the deregulation and all that kind of stuff, and it's sort of like, okay, we can delete our emissions control systems. Like, no,
Don't do
no,
that.
you can't. That's still illegal. So we've been having to stop it.
His truck was deleted from factory.
Yeah, okay.
That's
all right.
the reason I have not bought a new truck is I have the last pre-emissions diesel.
Diesel. We have
yeah.
a 20-year-old diesel
Yeah.
as well,
Yep.
and we won't get.
Honestly,
we may get rid of it.
My hope is that all of this leads to like another cash for clunkers thing, and the government pays me a ridiculous amount of money for my rusty truck that I can afford a new diesel.
Oh, see, but here's
That's
the
my
problem.
long-term
Here's
plan.
the problem with cash for clunkers.
Because then that truck disappears forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
It is a shame across the board because we lost a lot of really good 80s and early 90s trucks because of it. However, that thing should be crushed.
He's not wrong. Go look at it. It's a pile.
It runs
All right,
great.
we're just going to put a fundraising note here, like, a charity thing, like
sure.
a GoFundMe for
Yeah.
you to
Hey,
get your new diesel.
Tom just released shirts. Go buy some shirts.
Yeah, we did. We did just do shirts.
Oh, they're so good.
Is this coming out on Tuesday?
I can. Yeah, I can. This
Okay.
seems important enough that we can mobilize on
Well,
because you guys will have action on Johnson Valley by Tuesday. So I can release this episode Tuesday.
Okay.
Tell people where to go and what to do. I'll release this episode. Check out Tom's shirts.
Then, yeah.
We'll start there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a spoiler what those shirts are?
No, they're
No, it's-
actively for so PJ is
Yeah.
an artist and really good at photography and everything, and he redrew the Cracker Barrel logo
Oh, no.
it's so
as
good.
it says DirtNerds Motors, and like
It's got the old guy.
it's
Oh,
well, the
I
old guy's
can't-
really PJ, and
Okay.
I put it on a T-shirt. The irony was I did it as like a joke for us. I was like, oh, it'll be like because every year I get like hoodies and shirts this
That
time of
sounds
year for the
that
guys.
sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Who does that sort of thing?
and I put it on a shirt and
Okay.
was like, "You guys want them as shop shirts?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." I put them on Facebook and I got like 30 emails. Yeah,
Oh, awesome. Okay, I'm buying one. Yeah.
I just got I got a random note 22 hours ago. $22, $5 shipping.
Yeah.
Tom at DirtNerds.
just email me your size and if you want them shipped or picked up.
Oh, fantastic.
Because we were trying to get like a store put together for it.
Well, I
and
can
just
also do it
post a
through
link.
PayPal because that's how I did
I'm
it
doing.
before.
I'm taking everything
through the
I-
offer.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Logistically, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
We're
If
gonna
you
do
want
it.
a shirt, email me, Tom@DirtNerdsOffroad.com.
And
Yes.
Tom needs a new diesel, so buy lots of shirts.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of shirts to afford
Yeah.
a new diesel.
If we want to preserve our historic, culture,
Listen, I'm all for classic cars. I have
except when you need a new diesel.
specifically
Not very community oriented.
We have Leno's Law on the West Coast. We have Tom's Law
do
on
my
the East
other
Coast.
do my other 3 classic cars that I keep running count?
No,
Why not?
because you need 4.
You heard it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carrie. I'm gonna have. We're keeping the truck forever now.
Or sell it to somebody that wants it. For
Some
the
poor high
future.
school kid.
Yeah, who's gonna also just wreck it?
which in Loudoun County is
I know.
like
No,
none.
it'll end up over the mountain and getting truck pulled in Clark County.
Oh, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
or are you saying something about Jefferson County?
No, Clark County.
The other, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually my biggest fear for my
Same
son.
zip code. Same zip code.
My biggest fear for my son is that he's going to become a Loudoun County diesel boy. But the only benefit would be that there are still diesels by the time he's driving.
Fair.
Because he's 2. We took him to a truck pull, and like he was like uninterested in all the stock trucks, and then like the big pro tractor pull guys came out with the smoke,
Right.
And he's in the bleachers with his little headphones on at 9:00 at night, going, "Whoa!" As the trucks are going out, we have videos. Wow! And I'm like, "Oh no, he's gonna be a diesel kid."
We'll take him to a monster truck rally. You're gonna come with us in
Yeah.
April, and we'll do it then.
We went to a mud bog in Eastern Shore, Maryland when we were at the beach last week. That was wild.
So
Like
that's
mud
what
trucks.
Like legit mud bog.
Mud
Was there a king sling there?
No.
Was there a bog hog
No,
there?
but that was the cool part about it was just the good old
all
boys
locals,
okay.
Yeah.
with like big block nitrous Chevys. And I mean, like truck
Like
pull
that's
on
what I grew
steroids.
up going to. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like one of the guys that worked for my
Yeah.
dad at his shop, he had a monster truck,
Okay.
and it was actually his daily driver too.
Monster too.
You know,
Gotta
Matt
preserve
is the
that.
gas
We gotta
mileage.
preserve that.
yeah, and
Lesson
and-
17.
Yeah.
And he always, this was years ago, and this is in Canada, so
No,
yeah.
it doesn't count.
And so he used to compete in the mud bog races at our equivalent of a county fair is, which
Yeah.
Americans do county fairs way better than Canadians. But
We
or at
do
least
a
the
lot
part
of things better
Canada.
than Canadians.
Yeah.
We're not going to go down
Most
that road.
things,
That's
actually.
That's a different podcast.
I was like, do you guys do anything in Canada or no? Like, is SEMA involved in Canada?
Yeah,
Or-
I mean, we have members from Canada.
Okay.
We have people that attend the show from Canada. We spent a lot of
Well,
time with Canadians. Actually, the
time.
FIA
In Paraguay.
You guys don't have any
Paraguay,
like
yeah.
representation from
Yeah.
an advocacy standpoint,
No.
though.
Mm-mm.
They could use the help. But that's
Yeah,
a
on
different
automotive though, they actually have some lesser restrictions than we do. Because I actually looked at bringing my dad's truck down here.
Okay.
So it was a diesel Ram,
Yeah.
and so I couldn't import it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I know they're going through all the EV stuff right now because like I follow Edison Motors.
Yeah, Edison Motors is
and
going through
they're
it.
they're kind of getting screwed by Canada right now, which is a shame because
It's such a cool product.
and that is the product that saves us from being forced into EVs. Like
Right.
that concept is what fixes the problem.
Yeah,
in my
I think
opinion.
I think the consumer shift will happen. Consumers in Canada don't want them.
Okay.
And
Well, it doesn't work because it's so
doesn't work.
cold,
Like,
so
unless
long.
unless even if you live in
Yeah.
Toronto, which I grew
Yeah.
up in Niagara, so
Okay.
other side of the lake from Toronto, which is where I'm in the most populated part of the country.
Yeah.
But it's still flipping cold.
Yeah.
Right. And so you still have an issue with
And everything is still
cold.
far away.
And
like
it's
if
still
you
far
leave
away.
Toronto.
And so my sister has a hybrid, and her first winter was really, really bad because because I guess it's a dual battery system, whatever, and it kept dying.
Mhm.
And so and that's in the most populated and southernmost part of Canada.
Yeah.
So try telling the boys in Calgary and Edmonton and Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Well, they did a really interesting video that they showed at the
Mhm.
FIA thing where they basically did they just drove them as long as they could to see how much mileage they would actually get. Kilometerage?
Kilometerage, yeah.
Yeah.
Clicks. We call them clicks.
Clicks? Okay.
Distances.
How many clicks do you get?
Yeah.
That's
But I mean, they did it on one of the coldest days.
Yep.
It was snowing. It was a stereotypical
Canadian.
Canadian
day.
day.
Looked like March or something
Yeah.
like that. And,
Get your
It was May. I don't know what's going on.
get your Timmy hose and
yeah.
But-
avoid the moose.
Yeah, they weren't that far north. But yeah, they didn't have the range. Like the
Yeah.
cold,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
range was probably about half of what the
Yeah.
sort of the
advertised
ranges. So, and again, like if you're in the city, no problem. You don't have,
they have their place.
But consumers just don't.
Yeah.
The consumers have to lead the decisions, not government.
Yep.
Yeah, I think everyone learned that the hard way.
Less government.
Over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cool. Where can people find you guys and information about Jackson Valley and everything going on currently?
So
Johnson Valley, by the way, John. It's a bit. If
Dave.
you're seeing this on social media, it's a bit. Where can people find it?
Go
watch the
our
episode.
head now. We're gonna say it to some llama.
I know. I'm gonna. Dave,
what are we talking about here?
Dave or Rory is gonna call me like Wednesday. What the hell? It's a joke.
Blame me.
It's a bit.
It's Matt. He's just the communications guy.
He drives
communicating.
He drives a Subaru. Like we can only bring him so far along.
He's new to the community.
Yeah. He follows his schematics very carefully.
Yeah.
His automotive schematics.
Yeah.
So Sema Action Network, SemaSand.com. We're actually revamping the website right now, so it's a little.
Speaking of that, you guys had a new logo last when you came to DC. You guys had that new Sema PRI shield logo. When can I get that on a flag? Because I want to fly that in front of my house. I love that so much.
Flags are a great idea.
That looks so good on. That would look so good on a flag.
Okay.
We'll hang one in the shop.
All right. Oh.
Put it at your base camp wherever you.
Yeah. All right, back to your story.
Okay.
But I mentioned that last time, and I'm like, I want a flag because that's such a good crest shield logo.
Maybe that's the swag that we let Will walk around with.
Hand out flags.
Around with anything
yeah, no, Will needs to be contained. Will walked with us in DC. He needs to be contained.
I don't know. I said give him a flag.
Yeah.
Could be real fun.
Let his freak flag fly.
Will's been radicalized very quickly.
Yeah.
He was there for a few months when we met him. He
sent me a link for a Jeep Commando. He's like, would this be a good project? And I'm like, how deep of a project do you want, Will? That's a serious project.
Right. Well, the funny thing is that actually so Will started it, and then Lauren came in.
Yeah,
and so
they worked together in Colorado, right?
Yes. Yeah. So Lauren comes in. So I don't know like when the actual transition happened of Will managing the day-to-day on the social media and Lauren taking over, but it got like or the commentary, it was pretty, punchy and
it should be.
snarky and whatever, which I'm like, okay. So I'm like thinking it's Will and blah, blah, blah. And then there was something they posted and I texted Will in a week and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, that was Lauren. I'm like, what? I was like, sweet
throwing her right under the bus.
But it was just like sweet little Lauren. Like, I don't know if you guys have met Lauren.
Yeah.
Like she's a really like sweet, proper young lady, right? And it's like, no,
Queen of snark.
Yeah, she is the queen of snark. Like, I was like, all right.
So the next level is that now Will has another person on his team
who's even quieter.
And Will says, hey,
I think she had just gotten onboarded.
No,
she was like 3
weeks ago.
Yeah,
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago.
So Sarah sends this thing and Will's like, oh, we're very happy about this. This is about the Orba thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, was this while we were in Paraguay?
Yes.
So
back to Paraguay.
So we're 7,000 miles away and we're not in a position to walk into people's office and go, dude,
what the hell are you doing?
And this thing was like, America! Like, it was just
I know exactly what post.
No. We spiked this one.
We spiked it.
For now.
Can you forward it? I want to see it. It won't go up. I want to see it.
I'm trying to remember what post, because I saw a post where I was like, maybe it was Jordan's post.
It was
definitely Jordan's post.
Well, but then there was the other. So then
post.
the other one, wherever the hell I
yeah.
was, I don't remember where I was, and I was at the Council's Network Summit in California for SEMA, and so because I see all of the creative before it goes out, and so I didn't quite get this. It was a Mean Girls reference, the new Mean Girls movie, whatever.
Get in, loser.
Well, no, pause. I just saw the creative. They didn't send me the caption text. So they didn't send me what you put in below. So I was like, okay. They explained what the thing was. Okay, got it. And so then I walk into this meeting. And so one of the guys I know well, he's like, I can't believe you're calling people losers on social media. I'm like, what? We're doing what? And so I was like, I'm like, what? He's like, the post has just went up, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I'm glad you like it. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I didn't see this. So it was the caption underneath, "Get in, loser," which is a quote from the movie.
Yeah.
But I was just like, they didn't give me, because I would have been like,
oh, that's not that bad.
No, that's pretty standard.
I would say that's pretty tame.
Yeah.
It's pretty tame, but it was just like, it's one thing like when we do the responses to people's snarky comments,
Sure.
that's fine, right?
Yeah, those are
That's
the
engaging.
best.
But it was like the captions, "Get in, loser," and I'm like, okay, all right. It's just good, but
Yeah, but the millennials identify with it. Like,
I know. I'm old. I get it. But
we all
That's not
struggled
where I was
with the
going
Justin
with that,
Bieber thing.
we struggle. Well, and then the Coldplay thing.
The Coldplay thing was good.
I
The
think
was
Coldplay
funny.
thing was good.
What
But
was the Justin Bieber thing?
it was when he was like,
Because I know he released an
I'm
album this
standing on-
morning.
You're not clocking me. I'm standing.
yeah,
on business.
yeah, you're not. Yeah.
yeah.
And like we probably collectively looked at each other like, I don't understand any of the words in this. Like,
Yeah, I get that too.
Like, I didn't see the original thing, and I was just like, and Will's like, no, this is the thing, and I was just like, I think it was a Friday, so like
Yeah.
we're working from home again, not having the ability to say, step into the hallway. Let's all like talk
So,
through
so
this
what,
right
what's
now.
happening in the podcast right now? What's the office doing while we're podcasting?
Right, right.
It's on fire.
But
That's how I feel about the shop too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But like we're like, whatever, just go with it, I guess. Just
I guess,
do it.
yeah.
And then Will's like, can I put some money behind this? It's performing really well with Hill staff. We're like, what is going on in this world?
Like,
I don't understand.
well, the problem is all the Hill staff are 25.
25 years
exactly.
old, making
I-
$40,000 a year.
Listen, I'm only 35 and I don't understand it.
Yeah,
like
no.
I feel for you guys because like
oh, it's awful. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I consider myself relatively like cool, and I have been so taken down like 10 pegs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
since
yeah.
the kids came to town,
Yeah.
since Will and the kids
Yeah.
showed up. So,
It can be rough.
So that means
sometimes.
that means
yeah,
that
especially
means
with the
they're doing-
Subaru.
Yeah.
So that means they're doing good though, because
Yeah.
They
they're interacting with the younger community.
yes.
See,
No,
it's contagious. It's a good
the
word.
young community in Jackson Valley.
So,
Key constituency. Community.
SEMA Action Network, SAN. Where can people find you guys?
So best way
struggling.
right now is follow us on Instagram. So which is just SEMA Action Network is our handle. We're doing a website redesign on semasan.com. So that, I don't know. Speaking of Will, where is my website?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Okay. So you haven't even seen it yet. So, so Will and the team are working on a revised website. And so, but semasan.com ultimately, but best way is Instagram, SEMA Action Network. And
SEMA.org/advocacy to get a rundown of what our issues are in a
to really
broad
go
sense.
deep. Yeah. To go deep.
Yeah.
What's affecting the community?
Yeah.
I think that's a big one because I think a lot of people don't even realize a lot of this
I
stuff.
like how that's a
exists.
bit now, but it's an actual thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna go work on Monday. You're gonna say community and just start laughing. What the fuck?
That's all I'm going to watch this weekend. I'm going to binge the show.
There you go.
It's a good show.
I'm looking forward to the next post, the next reel or story that Lauren does where she talks about the community over and over and over and over and over again.
That's if she listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if she listens to the podcast. This because community thing's been really kind of towards the second half of.
Yeah. And with Jackson Valley.
Yeah, with Jackson
It's going to be just a sizzle reel of me just saying community, 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 community.
Ooh.
We can get AI to make that for us.
Yeah.
That'd be easy.
We'll let the millennial edit the podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
It was
Just send all the raw to Will.
It's just breathing. Yeah.
Exactly.
All
Hey,
right.
cut out what we shouldn't say, and we'll do a separate episode with that.
Got it. There's a few things I probably shouldn't have said that
You'll be
I'm sure I'll hear about it at the end, but you'll be fine. You guys know where to find us. DirtNerds Motors, DirtNerds Offroad, the Dirt Drive Podcast, everywhere social.
T-shirts until the end of the week.
T-shirts
so if you
till-
want one,
T-shirts, what's the date at the end of the week? Because we need to put a date on it.
the 12th.
So they're
The 12th
only
is
available
the end of the
till
week.
12th.
Well, I'm gonna stop taking orders.
Okay.
After the
Okay.
12th, because
Yeah, so September 12th, we stopped taking orders for T-shirts.
yeah,
So message me, email Tom. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll get you the right place. Get T-shirts so Tom can buy a new diesel.
God, I hope we sell enough T-shirts. Honestly, if we sell that many T-shirts, I won't even buy a new diesel.
You can donate all the money to Jackson Valley to fight
I
the
don't know if
Marine
I'd go
Corps.
that
To
far.
fight the Marine Corps.
Probably just gonna finish building my Jeep.
This really went off the rails.
Yeah. Have you not listened to the podcast, man? This is
I told you
is
this wasn't
normal.
oil and whiskey.
I don't know. It's just
We're not even
entertaining.
drinking.
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
imagine? That's the next level.
Let's do it. We'll set it up.
That was actually the hardest podcast to do, not because of the length. It's just because I can't like I
That much whiskey.
you're just like I had to measure the whiskey
Yeah.
consumption, so
Oh,
I
we'll
don't
get
go
you-
and say
We'll get you fucked up.
We'll
do it.
There's a bunch of empty bottles around here
right,
somewhere.
yeah. So that was the hardest part because I'm like I have to be professional.
Yeah.
It's like here, keep drinking,
They,
Karen.
they know the organization. They want to get to know you.
right.
That's the big thing.
So
But thank you guys. It's good to be back. I'm happy to be back.
It is good.
It's good to see you guys again. I love
Yeah.
hanging out with you guys.
yeah, it's great to see you. Thanks for having us over.
You guys are right down the street. We need to go
Yeah.
drink beers and not
And
record
to the Cove.
podcasts and just hang out.
and we need
yeah.
to go to the Cove.
Heck yeah.
How many do you have in the office now?
11.
11.
Oh yeah, we can still fit everybody.
I was
do
gonna
it.
say I
We have
can
enough
probably grab
Jeeps.
one of our Jeeps.
Yeah.
It's not as good as my yellow, but
Yeah.
I can grab a second Jeep.
Let's do it. All right, guys. We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Okay.